7th annual Final Fantasy Series relay race. Today and this weekend we will have 3 teams of 18 speedrunners each, 18 games. They'll be racing through in a relay format. So once one game finishes, the next runner will start. All the way through to Monday evening, we will crown the winner. Just want to give a few thanks real quick before we get started. So I want to thank Coexel and the RPG Limit Break staff for letting us use this channel every year. Lots of cool events on this channel, so make sure to follow. I also want to quickly thank Hoishin for doing a lot of Japanese translating and getting the Japanese community involved a lot more. It's always really nice. This year we have 6 Japanese runners, and it's really cool to see more engagement every year and have a more global event. It's quite fun. I also want to quickly thank Casa for providing the emotes and artwork. Same artwork and emotes as last year. So if you subscribe, you can sort of root for your favorite team using the emotes. And I think that's about all I have to say. The first run is going to be Chocobo GP, and the runners are going to be ShiyugamiGaru, Kariohki, and groggydog. And the commentators can introduce themselves in a second once we get started. But yeah, we'll just give it a couple minutes and then we'll do the quick countdown to get the race started.
All right, howdy, good morning, good afternoon, and good evening, everyone. My name is Shentok, and I will be here with Lightbriinger to commentate the opening race of the relay with Chocobo Grand Prix. We have Kariohki, groggydog, and ShiyugamiGaru doing the first race. And then this is basically a new entry in the Chocobo Racing series. The second game, I don't think there was another one. The original was on the PlayStation. It was a very experimental kart racing game. This one's a lot more straightforward, very similar to Mario Kart 8, if you're familiar with that game.
Okay.
And we're gonna get started and let the countdown happen.
Yep, runners, everybody ready? Right, 3, 2, 1, go.
And good luck to all the runners. So I'll just go over the basic mechanics. So, like most kart racing games, you have an instant boost at the start. If you hold your acceleration at the right time, you have different levels of boost depending on when you start accelerating. You got a good, a great, and a perfect start, I believe. And Kari started out with a great start here, and everyone else had also had a really great start. You can also do drifting, and the longer you drift, the more powerful your boost will be. There's like a weird catch where the drift boosting overwrites the ground boosters. And then you can also do trick jumps, and depending on on your timing on that determines the boost you get from that jumping. Like I said, if you're very familiar with Mario Kart, a lot of these mechanics are the same. You have different items you collect in the form of these, I believe, Magicite, what they're called. I don't remember the name. And you can stack them up to level 3. And of course, the higher the tier, the more powerful the effect. And a very, very quick first race. It's basically just a tutorial race to get you familiar with the game. And we're already going right into it. So basically we're starting from like a cleared file, so we can just skip all the cutscenes, get right into the game. And each character has their own customized look. So you'll see us use Chocobo for the entire run, because he's just like a really good all-rounder. His special ability is just really, really useful, because it just gives you an instant speed boost that lasts a little bit. And then basically the gauge on the left-hand side fills up during the race. It just fills up at a set rate, and when it's full you can activate it, and each character has a unique ability, and Chocobo's is just the most useful for the entire run. And similar to Mario Kart, there's gems you collect, and as you collect them, it increases your max speed a little bit, up to 10 points. Where you get the most significant boost. And you can see as the runners, they're just drifting as they can, making sure to capitalize on as much speed as they possibly can. Like Mario Kart, there's a lot of luck involved with the AI, of course, whether or not they use items against you and what kind of items they get. And as you can see there on Kari's feed with the special ability, just immediately allowed her to do a turn, because it gives you a boost and it increases your control massively. So it just makes the ability just so useful. But as you can see on Groggy's screen, it gives like the hint about what the magic eggs are. They're divided into 3 tiers, of course. The first tier just gives you a level 1 egg. Blue one upgrades it to level 2, or it gives you 2 separate ones if you don't have one currently, I believe. And then the level 3, and then the gold one gives you a max level item, I believe, if you have one already. But yes, so an important item is the portal item. I didn't see if it was used yet, but basically it teleports you forward, but at a set distance. But you can't really, you kind of have to just like hope it takes you where you want to go. It's a set distance in front of you. It does kind of try to curve with the map, but sometimes it can just launch you into a wall. And so far, it's a very close race right now. It's fantastic to see. But of course, this is the early races where things are a little bit more stable, and the AI can mess with you. Like right there on Kari's feed, where she got hit by an ability that just made her spin out for a moment. And Groggy, of course, Groggy and Shiyugami right there finishing on that stage at the same time, around the same time, very quick. Yeah, so each stage or each story episode has a clear condition that you have to complete in order to move on. If you don't complete that, then of course you just have to do the race again. And what's really nice is that in a recent update, they added the ability to restart a stage without having to exit out. When it came out, you had to exit the race in order to restart the stage. And Groggy and Shiyugami are just launching through this stage really nicely. Akari's a little bit behind, but she's doing really good. Let's see, but yeah, right now we have Groggy in the lead, Shiyugami in second, Kari in third, but they're still on the same map. Anything can happen, of course, as the race goes on. And a very quick finish for both Groggy and Shiyugami. Yeah, you can see right there the victory conditions. Most of the time it's just, if you get first, you're fine. But even then, it's usually just something simple as just beating another person that's related to the story. But yeah, like as you progress through the story, you'll unlock more characters you can play as in the story mode. But again, it's just faster to stick with the Chocobo, and like just his ability is just so useful for going fast. The other characters, they're more of the utility abilities, and their stats are just not as good for being an all-rounder as Chocobo is. And so we're doing the same course again. Like each chapter has like several episodes, and you'll just keep doing the same course with different race conditions until you finish that chapter. And once again, Groggy and Shiyugami are just blasting through the stage. Kari, unfortunately got hit there, but was able to use a teleport to keep up a little bit. Yeah, the game is super adorable. It has a very nice soundtrack, lots of callbacks to the Final Fantasy series. If you're very familiar with the music, there's a lot of tracks you'll recognize that are very much inspired and have callbacks to various games in the series. There's a lot of references as well. You'll see characters from various Final Fantasy games reimagined for this game. Like you got Titan, you got Gilgamesh, of course. You got Shiva as well, and some others. I believe Ifrit's also in this game. So now we're moving on to the next stage. And despite like seeing the rain, it doesn't affect your handling at all. It's just purely cosmetic, if I recall.
Yeah, the rain doesn't have any effect on this level. This is just to build the atmosphere from Zozo. This is pulled directly from Final Fantasy VI.
Yes. And thank you for that. I was thinking Final Fantasy VI, but I wasn't 100% certain.
Yep. Final Fantasy III in America, but Final Fantasy VI in Japan.
Mm-hmm. Ooh, that unfortunate hit. So yeah, the main Moogle character tends to have this ability that just stops you for a moment, and it's really obnoxious. I can't remember his name off the top of my head. But yeah, like every stage you see in the game is a reference to the Final Fantasy series in some way, from one game or another. There's even like references to like the Chocobo Mystery Dungeon games. And alright, Kari just finished that race and is basically just only a little bit behind the other two runners. Groggy seems to be doing... actually, no, Groggy and HabKeineName are tied on the frame. That is amazing.
Yeah, they're doing great out here. tearing right
Yeah.
through these tracks.
Yeah, it's just amazing that they're synced up so perfectly right now. That is truly astounding, especially since you know, the AI can just do things to mess with you. It seems like Groggy's just pulling ahead just a little bit, but it is a really, really tight race between those two. But yeah, if you're looking at those two streams, they're just almost basically neck and neck, just only the slightest differences. And then Kari is just behind by like a lap and a half, pretty much. And it's a really close race. This is wonderful. And I just love every time I look at like someone's feed, like, there's that tire that's flying off the screen.
All right, another track down. Great job, guys.
Heck yeah. Alright, so now we're going into the Final Fantasy IX chapter with Steiner and Vivi.
That's right. Yeah, that concludes Zozo. So we're moving on to Alexandria.
Mm-hmm. Let's see, and Kari is just about finished up with this stage as well, and will also be moving on. And very nice, perfect start from both groggydog and ShiyugamiGaru.
Excellent. Yep, got to capitalize on those boosts.
Mm-hmm. Because it's a racing game, you gotta always go as fast as you can, take advantage of everything you got. Yeah, and like the one thing nice about Choco's ability is that it just can eliminate anything that's heading your way, which is really, really handy as like a staying safe ability.
Oh yeah, always good to have in the pocket there. It's you got a couple frames of invincibility there.
Yeah, it's just crazy how good Chocobo is. And then when I was doing some looking in the game, I was told that there was another character that's like can be good in a couple of stages for ILs, but for like the general speed run, you're just going to stick with Chocobo the entire time. Oh no, Kari got hit. Still, I'm just so amazed that groggydog and ShiyugamiGaru are just pretty much in sync.
Neck and neck here.
Like, given all the variability in this game, it's just surprising that they're just so close.
Definitely, yeah, a lot of variables in this game. Alright, starting up the second round of Alexandria.
Mm-hmm. And I will say, if you ever get the chance to play this game, to everyone else, I highly recommend it. Like just for the story alone, it's really adorable. And just like if you're a fan of Final Fantasy series, there's just a lot of fun references and and just humor based around it. It's just such great writing. Like, don't expect anything like heavy or serious. It's just very lighthearted and cute, and the soundtrack's really nice. Especially that title theme. Whenever I hear it, I can't get it out of my head for the rest of the day. It's just so bubbly and poppy and catchy. And it pretty much explains the whole story for you.
It does, yeah. Interesting lyrics on that one.
There could be a little bit of difference in loading time, depending if you have it installed internally or on the SD card. From what I recall with Switch load times, is that having it on the internal memory is the fastest, with the SD card being a little bit slower, but the difference isn't too much. And then in Asia, there was a cartridge release, but I don't think there's been any testing done on loading times for that, but I would imagine it would be the slowest. Ooh, very nice. It looks like Shiyugami pulled out ahead just a little bit, but they're still pretty close.
Very close.
It's anyone's race until the end, of course. And Kari's just behind by a lap, but she's still doing really good. Oh no, that's unfortunate. Commentator's curse. Right as I start talking about her, she gets hit. But she's on the final lap of Alexandria. Oh no, that's unfortunate. Hopefully, she should be able to make it through. Ooh, nice, someone put out a teleporter. So, like, the catch with the teleporter is that anyone can use it. And if you go through the blue side, it pushes you, it brings you ahead. And if you go through the red side, it brings you backwards. Oh yeah, no, Kari had to do a restart. That's unfortunate. And then we've got Groggy and Shiyugami on the next chapter now. What's this stage called?
Big Bridge. This
Big
one's
Bridge.
pulled from Final Fantasy V.
Oh, snap. Yeah, I recognize this theme, but I've never played 5 personally, but I have friends who endlessly praise it. Oh, yeah, most of these stages are also really straightforward. There's no like unintended shortcuts you can really take. There's like one stage that has like a really minor shortcut that saves a small amount of time that we'll probably see during the run. I don't remember if we've gotten to that stage yet. No, I don't think that. No, I believe that stage is later. But yeah, Shiyugami's just a little bit farther ahead, just by just a few seconds, or maybe no, a little bit more than that. I was expecting groggydog to be closer. So yeah, like about 10 seconds or so now. It's still a really close race, but Shiyugami has pulled ahead. And so, like all these items that they're getting at the end of the races, there's like an in-game shop you can buy accessories and upgrades, right?
What was that?
Like all these items they're getting at the end of each race, they're for like the in-game shop where you can buy accessories and upgrades, right?
Exactly. Yeah, with the amount of crystals that you collect along the way, each 10 increasing your speed, they're counted at the end of each track, and that will translate to how many tickets you've earned that race. And then the tickets will get you all sorts of different things from the shop. You can get different cart colors, different characters, even different models of the vehicles.
Mm-hmm. And it looks like Kari made it into the big bridge stage. She's behind by quite a bit, but I'm sure she'll be able to catch up.
Definitely, she'll pull through. It's not over till it's over.
Exactly. Very nice. And Shiyugami just finished it. That finishes the chapter, correct?
Yes.
Or was okay. Because most of them are 2 races, right? I know there's one that's 1 race, or I mean 3 races.
Right. Yep. Because most of them you'll run through the track once, and then the second time around you have to beat a certain character that has to do with that track storyline.
Mm-hmm.
So on Big Bridge, I believe you have to make sure that you finish ahead of Gilgamesh.
Yeah, that's correct. And now we're in the Golden Saucer, which I believe is from Final Fantasy VII. I know it's appeared in a few games. I believe 7 is where it's like mostly iconic for.
Definitely. Yep. It started all in 7. This track's a lot of fun, and it's one of the only tracks that actually features a couple of shortcuts.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yeah, this was the stage I was thinking about when I was thinking of shortcuts. Yeah, there's surprisingly most of the stages are really straightforward, but this one at least has some shortcuts that you can take. There's like some ramps off the side of the screen that you can jump off of, correct?
Exactly. Yeah. There's some risky jumps you can take, but they really put you ahead.
Mm-hmm. And you can see how they're just like trying to cut the corners as much as they can to just to stay as far ahead as they can possibly or be as possibly as they're able to. Ooh, that's unfortunate. groggydog getting pushed a little bit farther behind by that big bomb attack. And Kari's still working through Big Bridge. She's on the second iteration of it. Very nice. And Kari was able to make it through the Big Bridge without too much trouble. groggydog and Shiyugami are still really close. As you can see on their in-game timers that they're just only difference by 10-11 seconds. Oh, that's unfortunate. Shiyugami got hit right as he was coming out of the Chocobo ability. Alright, now Kari's in the Golden Saucer first stage, so she's behind by quite a bit, but she's still doing really good. And ShiyugamiGaru just finished up. And now moving to the third Golden Saucer.
As you can see on Groggy's screen, it's describing the ultimate spell, which is kind of a hidden item. You basically have to hold on to your Magicite for so long as you keep grabbing more and more eggs, and eventually it'll transform into Ultima, which is a huge spell that hits just about everybody on the screen.
Does that come up often in?
No, it's pretty
live
tough
races?
to get because you got to hold on, not use your items for a long time as you keep grabbing more and more of those Magicite eggs.
Right. Yeah, that doesn't sound like it's really worth going for. Especially when you can just rely on like getting boosts and teleports and other items just to keep you ahead.
Definitely, yeah. Using your items quickly is usually pretty valuable.
And so you can use these little ramps here in this particular iteration of the stage that you can just use the jump across and cut corners. And they're pretty free to go for. You just need to have a little bit of a boost and you can make it. But that's like... that's the only stage I can think. This is like the only stage I can think of where there's like intended shortcuts like that.
Yeah, I want to say there's one other track that might have a little bit of a shortcut, but this is definitely the only one that has a clear path like that. Saves a lot of time.
Alright, so now we're in the next stage. Which one is this?
This is the interdimensional stage.
Right. Now, is there any reason that they're going right instead of like left for that split? Is it just a little bit faster?
Yeah, the right side is a little bit faster. It's a little harder to make that turn. You got to make sure that you're lined up perfectly to make that cut. But if you do, it is a little bit shorter of a track that'll branch you right ahead.
Gotcha. Oh no, Kari's having a rough time. But at least it's only the beginning of the race for that chapter.
Definitely. It's never too late for kart racers. You can always find your way back ahead with all the different items you can get.
Yeah, exactly. Does this game have like a catch-up mechanic where you get certain items are more likely to be obtained when you're farther back?
Yeah, there are a couple, such as Bahamut, which you could probably relate to the Bullet Bill from Mario Kart. There's different stages of Bahamut where you'll actually just turn into a dragon. It'll move you right along the track pretty quickly.
Gotcha.
Going right through everybody in your way.
Alright, and groggydog and ShiyugamiGaru finish that episode of the chapter.
On
I
to
believe
part
they
2.
need, yeah, part 2. So yeah, ShiyugamiGaru's ahead about almost 20 seconds now. It's impressive that he was able to pull ahead.
Yeah, definitely made up some ground there.
Mm-hmm. And now Kari's moving into the interdimensional area. Okay, yeah, it's from Final Fantasy V. That makes sense. But as you can see, revisiting the stage, things are a little bit more hectic. There's a lot more stuff on the field, a lot more hazards.
Definitely a lot more obstacles, yep.
Yep, Shiyugami finish. Oh.
That's time for groggydog as well, sorry.
Oh, time. Yeah, sorry about that. I thought we had one more. Yes, we got time for ShiyugamiGaru and time for groggydog.
GG's, GG's.
And Kari is now still working through the interdimensional rift. I believe she's still in the first iteration of it, or... Yeah. Yeah, GG to Shiyugami and Groggy. And they'll be moving off to their respective runners, LenaleeLuna and Woadyb for Team Mog and Team Tonberry.
Awesome. Thank you all so much. Good luck, Tonberry.
Yeah, good luck Team Tonberry, and good luck to Team Mog. Alright, now Kari's on to the next part.
Excellent.
Yeah, and my mistake for not calling time. I thought there was one more stage.
Happens to the best of us.
Yeah, let's go, Kari. Only one more race to go. And so far, Kari's doing really good, but anything can happen, especially as the other racers use their special abilities. Racing Hero X has one that's just has a big wave in front of him and can really ruin your day. And then, of course, I can never remember his name, but the other Moogle has an ability that just steals your crystals.
Atla, yeah.
Yeah, Atla, that's it. I don't know why I can't remember his name.
Yeah, his are tricky because he lays out some fake crystals on the track. The only way you can tell them apart is because they're in a straight line. So you gotta watch out for those, so they'll spin you out.
Yeah, yeah. I didn't even notice that, but you're right. Ooh, nice. See, and then Kari's on the final lap now. And soon it'll be time for her as soon as she crosses that finish line. And that's time for Kari. Congratulations to Team Chocobo.
Great job.
Applause.
GG Chocobo GP Racers.
Yeah, it's definitely a fun little game. It's definitely a fun little game. And with that, I'd say it's time for our introduction. Welcome to the Final Fantasy XII part of the run. I'm HabKeineName. With me,
I'm BlueHarvey, or other people just call me Harvey.
And I'm DTG.
and we'll be trying to entertain you a little bit and give you some context to what's happening on screen throughout the next probably a little less than 3 hours, knowing our runners.
So you might
Probably
notice
less
that
than 3 hours, yeah.
you might notice that Vaughn is walking a little faster than usual if you're used to the PS2 run, which has been shown not in the previous year but the year before that. If you've watched the relay last year, then you've probably already seen the TZA run. However, there have been a couple of changes here and there for the run, so if you don't remember how it exactly was, there were some minor adjustments to make the run a little bit faster, maybe even safer in some places. So yeah, we will see those for the first time at the relay this year.
Oh, definitely. And we definitely had some very surprising changes, considering the world record dropped, I think, considering the last relay, by another 15 minutes.
Is it really that much? Wow.
Think 44 was it right now, real time, right? I think that was about it.
Yeah, but world record back then was like 52, so it's like
Okay, yeah.
6 minutes.
Okay.
If
Yeah,
I can
still.
math.
Still. We three have not been very active the last few months in the Final Fantasy XII community, considering we all had our own runs to prep for this event. But yeah, generally, what's happening? Dessa's catching up right now. Just the tutorial area, basically a free boss fight into a little fight that you can't really use if you don't mess anything up too badly, into a government getting overthrown, into killing a few rats, into let's go to the desert and hunt a tomato. Why? Well, the tomato's tormenting people, so it's for the good cause and we're getting paid for it. And that's basically the start of our journey. And yeah, as was already mentioned, TZA had a great quality and life improvement, that is the speed up. Since it's mapped to actually the normal controller layout, we were at some point just like, yeah, let's allow it. So we're actually having times for speed.
There is another reason, not just that. The international Zodiac job system, I know that's a mouthful, that's the international release, which only came out in Japan. Funnily enough, and it also introduced the speed up button. However, it was kind of like a frame limit remover, which meant that whenever you had like basically nothing going on, you went extremely fast, and if you had a lot of stuff going on, the speed up was basically not noticeable at all. So that was another reason that we allowed it, because it was already in previous versions of the game.
Good to hear. Also, maybe to mention for that, in that moment, we have Dessa right now, who's running for Team Chocobo, catching up right now. Our former world record holder, who actually got overthrown by some random Japanese guy who showed up a few weeks ago.
I touched Bana-san, yeah.
For Team Mock, we have LenaleeLuna, who is a fairly talented yet still fairly new runner to this. She has a little bit of background experience as she was running the international Zodiac job system before. Hasn't had too much experience, but made major progress over the last few months. And for Team Tonberry, we have Woadyb, who also only, I think, about half a year ago started this run, maybe a little bit longer, and also massive improvements. Between Mog and Tonberry, since they started so close together, if RNG doesn't allow them to get a certain advantage at some points, it will probably be a very close race. Dessa from Team Choco has great potential to catch up here, as his time is about, I still think, like 5 to 10 minutes faster than the other two.
It's still a bit early to say that about being on the same pace. It's still a bit early to talk about being at the same pace. There's a lot that can happen. We have 2.5 hours of runs, and we're, what, less than 10 minutes in?
We're speaking
you're already talking about keeping up for the entire run.
We're speaking in theory, what the numbers give us.
I would like to have your positive mind when it comes to that. I really do. Because I want to see all of them finish at the same time. That would be so cool.
That would definitely be cool. Even though, personally, a little biased. Team Tonberry, let's go. First victory.
Dude, no. Team Chaos.
Generally,
Chaos. No. Team Tonberry, no.
we have to.
I hope all the teams
have to kill Chaos. It's like a thirst.
Sorry, Harvey. You're sadly in commentary with 2 Tonberry runners. You're classically outruled here.
Chaos. What do you mean? Dude, Chaos!
Alright, back to focus on the run, maybe a little bit.
Yeah.
We're getting a little bit sidetracked here. So,
it's all chaos. Okay, I'm sorry. Yeah, I'm sorry.
Alright, so Team Mog and Team Tonberry right now did the first bit of shopping. We're currently doing the Sunstone side quest, where we have to talk to multiple of these crystals, which can give a random amount of energy between 25 and 55%.
Woadyb.
Woadyb is not looking good there. Woadyb not looking good there. Luna is fine. She will definitely get on the third crystal.
39%. Come on.
Oh, that hurts.
Wow.
Oh, that hurts.
Wow.
Oh, that's pain.
That is pain.
I'm actually glad he knows where to go, because a couple of years back on PS2, there was a runner called Let's Get Pitted during the relay, and he did not know where the fourth crystal was. So I'm actually glad Hab is commentating with me.
Woadyb.
I'm actually glad Woadyb knows where the fourth crystal is. That's kind of like 20-second time loss on TZA. It's like 40 seconds on PS2.
It's actually in TZA a little bit more. Because the main thing also is, for the first, 40 minutes, we're on a fairly tight step count, because we want to reach a certain boss in a certain step range to be able to one-hit KO. Due to the 4 crystal, Woadyb will not be able to be on that step count, and will have that fight take about 20 to 30 seconds instead of just killing him one hit. Which already is a bit of a setback. Can be a little bit annoying, but that's RNG for you. Also, as you can see on Team Choco's right now screen, Dessa is just did trial mode, which is also an addition from the Zodiac Age, which is basically just 100 floors of enemies and chests. Every 10 floors you get a reward.
Ooh.
Okay, so every 10 chests you get a reward. And the thing we want to do there mainly is grind license points. Right now we just did the first floor, which granted us 12 license points, but as well a diamond armlet, which is an accessory that has a pretty high value. And here's also a bigger difference.
Oh my god.
Luna does not go for the safe setup strats, as you will see Woadyb go for now.
The thing is, Luna cannot go for the safe setup strat because she got protected from a Ravenaster guard on the way to Nalbana / from that way Nalbana back.
I want to say she generally doesn't either, anyways.
It doesn't really happen, but when it happens, it really throws off the damage values that we have written down for the Dustia damage down. To quickly explain what the runners are doing here. And this is called Dustia farming, probably the oldest known trick in the FF12 speedrunning book, or challenge running book. There's a rare game called Dustia. He only spawns if you have less than 10% HP. Not if you have exactly 10%, it's always less. And what we do is we use a Phoenix Down to kill Dustia every time. And we make sure we leave the zone before the EXP and LP shows up, because for some reason, seeing the LP and EXP popping up kind of registers in the game that, hey, this enemy died, so it should not spawn again. But for some reason, if you leave the zone before that pops up and go back in, the game just like, oh yeah, you didn't kill it, let's just spawn it again anyway.
But you
can
still
do this with a
get-
couple of enemies.
Yeah, the nice thing is you still get basically the outcome out of the enemy, meaning the experience and license points by that, which we just abused to just get some easy levels, which will make the early game a lot nicer, as well as some pocket money, which isn't required. There is completely routed out to do this without any drops, but the drops are about 400 gil each, and there is a chance for a more rare drop, which is a flame staff, which if we get it, we don't have to buy one later, which also saves 2,250 gil. So, kind of a big deal, kind of nice to have.
To go a little 5-head here, the drops are a Book of Orgain, which are 532 gil exact, and Flame Staff, which is 1200 gil exact. Flame Staffs are not used in this run, however in PS2, but because it's not PS2, it's just basically extra money that we could get.
Of course we use Flame Staffs here.
I'm actually surprised you guys don't go for the drops. Am I the only one who's going for drops? Because my PB is still going for drops for Dustia.
We do still go for
that's
drops.
new.
I don't know why. Woody tried, but missed a good couple of few. It is a little bit finicky to get the timing down of actually picking up the item, because the item can't be picked up until it actually hits the ground. So it is like a very, very small time window of like a second that you actually have to pick the item up and leave the area before Dustia won't respawn anymore, which is kind of finicky. So sometimes you go for it, sometimes you fail it, sometimes you don't even try. Usually you still want to try though.
Something happened to Woadyb there. Hope everything's good.
I probably just got a message or something, I guess. That is also one of the downsides that you just saw. Tapping out in this game will resort into the game actually pausing, which is quite sad. But not the end of the world, because
so to all the Square developers who are watching right now and have influence, we would love an update where you could toggle the pausing on and off if you would tap out the game. I know that's wishful thinking, but if it's possible, please do.
And maybe a chance to rebind the camera to something else.
Okay. Yeah, that's enough genie wishing and whatnot. But yeah, one can hope, right?
One can definitely hope.
I mean, all the Pixel remasters just got an update, so TZA can a small little update like there. Come on, that's doable, right?
And now Dessa at the Dustia grind. It seems like he also isn't going for the drops, which is actually curious for me because, as I said, the drops aren't really needed. We have enough junk that we can sell over. But of course, it is faster to just sell 10 of this item instead of having to menu to sell 20 different items. So, interesting.
Okay, so both Woadyb and Lena are both now in the Rabanastre Palace with some of the favorite minigames amongst runners, which is the Hey Buckethead
we're getting over here.
minigame, and Lena actually got an over here, so bad RNG there. Sadly, no Hey Buckethead. Funny enough about that minigame is you cannot get as soon as you're in the minigame room where all the guards are, where you see Lena right now, you cannot get two of the same shouts back to back. So if you shout Hey Buckethead the first time, you cannot get a Hey Buckethead again. For instance, Lena got hello, so the next one will definitely not be another hello.
There's the
Okay,
Buckethead.
so she got one Buckethead though, so that's good RNG. Because we always want to get the Hey Buckethead. It doesn't do anything, it's not faster, it doesn't save money, it doesn't save time, it's just it's just better.
It's the best joke of the game and one of the only memes that we have alongside Don't listen to Ondor's lies!
Yep. Don't listen to Ondor's lies. Can we get a Can we get 3 2-shouts today? Can we get 3 2-shouts? Is that possible?
That will be very interesting to see. I know we wouldn't get it if I were running, because I still have yet to practice 2-shout. We'll talk on that as soon as it comes up. We'll be a little bit more, about 20 more minutes.
Yeah, but 2 shouts, just to give it TLDR, it's about a very similar minigame that's later on in the run, just so it's noted. Dessa making his way to the Garu Scythe, which is also right next to the Rabanasar Palace, so he is slowly but surely picking up speed and getting closer to the other 2. And now Lena's getting introduced to some of the best characters in the entire game.
I mean, I'd say the main character and his sidekick even, because everyone knows that Vaughn.
I mean, have you seen my profile picture on Twitch?
I have indeed.
Twitter?
I have indeed.
I mean that it speaks volumes, doesn't it?
It definitely does, but maybe some people in chat actually thought, hey, this Vaughn guy is the main character. No, he isn't. He isn't. He is the enabler of the story. Without him, the story wouldn't happen as it is. But as of right now, he's basically just playing a side role of not bringing any significant importance to the story for the rest of the game. He's just kind of there.
And now we're getting into the Gambit tutorial. So the Gambit tutorial,
Gambit
I think maybe you have you know what the Gambits are, but if you don't, to put it bluntly, the Gambit system is basically the way you can program your characters. You have a set of commands that you can use with a set of contemplated commands that you can also use to then make certain actions. And whatever is on top on the Gambit menu is the one that's prioritized the most. Meaning, if you put, let's say, Bosch, or should I say, if you have Balthier and you have Fonier's visible attack and you have that on top, then that's the priority of actions that Balthier will use. So, meaning if you want to heal, you have to wait. Balthier has to wait until he kills the closest enemy nearby. However, if you put the healing gambit, let's say foe or ally HP less than 50%, and you put that on top, then that triggers as soon as someone goes below 50% HP. And now we're getting into the meat of things, where both Woadyb and Lena starting to change gambits and get their first license boards. The Zodiac Age introduced the 12 Zodiac boards, or the 12 jobs, that were not apparent in the original version of Final Fantasy XII, which is a lot different. In the original, you just had 2 big boards for each and every character with everything on it, be it armor, be it weapons, be it spells, be it everything that you can imagine. And you had a ton of customization abilities that in TCA is sadly lost, but you have two jobs that you can use. The second job only unlocks after Belias, which will be a lot later in the run.
Yeah, also, as you might have seen, our runners chose to make all 3 characters for right now red battle mages. So basically, red mages have some dark magic, have some light magic, bit of heal, bit of damage. We are not going to use any of that really, except for one singular spell that is Dark. We bought Dark earlier. Dark is a spell that is quite broken for this version, as in the original release it was only obtainable much later. It is AoE, it does good amounts of damage, and with all 3 characters casting it, basically everything in our way is going to be dead within seconds. And that's going to keep up for the first hour of the run, which is basically all we're going to do. Just run up to enemies, dark them a few times, be done. That's how powerful the thing is.
Dark is not only powerful in TCA, but it's just made accessible a lot earlier in TCA, which makes it seem like it's more powerful. But the power is actually the same as in the original FF12. But just being able to use it this early makes it so lucrative for the run. I would imagine
when did you actually get it in the original? Wasn't it only after Belias, something like that?
No. After Belias, we already... No, actually before Belias, actually during Demon Wall 1, actually, we already used Arrow, because Dark already doesn't do enough damage anymore. But we use it for Garuda still, which still takes one round to defeat. And
Garuda's
for
weak to dark, if I recall.
yeah,
Yes.
yeah, Garuda's weak to dark, and we use it on geese in the original, and as well as you do it in this version.
Poor Woadyb.
Yeah, you do.
Poor Woadyb. 1 HP bushfire. That always hurts to see.
And the teleports.
Fire, unskippable, 9 seconds or whatever it is, right?
Those teleports are awful.
Yeah.
So another thing in this game is that whenever you see an enemy teleport, like one of those mist mirrors, dark mirrors, night mirrors, or in this case fire main, if they teleport, during the teleport animation, they cannot take damage. So if you get a 5-hit combo and the enemy is teleporting, they will not take a single hit damage during the teleport animation.
The interesting thing though is if an enemy were to teleport far away and you do a 5-hit combo in that moment, your character basically gets teleported behind him if it's an open area.
It's amazing. It's amazing. I've seen that before. Like Vaughn got a 3-hit combo, and he was just sliding across the room during Fireman, and it's just so funny. It's just hilarious to see him like sliding through the entire area.
I've had it where I was in the Great Crystal, and I targeted one of the specters or whatever they are, and Vaughn slid all the way up the ramp with a 11-hit combo trying to hit the thing and missed every time.
Yep.
That's amazing.
By the way, did we mention prison break? So after stealing from the palace, after the fire main boss just got thrown into prison, then killed a few of the prison bullies and broke out. Now we're in the Barheim tunnels, Barheim mines. I'm not even sure about the English name right now anymore. I think it was tunnels, where we have
Barheim passage. Sorry.
Passage. Okay, good. There it is. I usually play this game in German, and I don't know the names very well in English anymore. Generally speaking, though, there's a power outage. There is luckily a merchant that has a tube fuse around that helps us get the power back on, and we just zoom through the area. The gimmick of this area is there are bugs all around that like to suck out the electricity out of the cables. We kill a few of them because they're good license points, which we probably wouldn't even really need, but I mean, it's a little bit of a help. It does help. And yeah, we're just making our way to a switch that will open a gate, and after that, straight to the queen of these bucks, where we're going to take everything down with us.
Right, and when you come back later on in the game, charge is never mentioned again, even though, as far as we know, nothing ever happened, right?
I think probably because the Mimic Queen died, and the Mimic Queen is basically the source of giving life to all the battery mimics. That's what I think.
Yeah,
like that's my headcanon at least.
It's not the headcanon. It is that way. It is not.
That's at least my headcanon. Like I'm trying to make sense out of everything.
Sense, right? Like. No, but it's still really cool, you know.
It is a very fun gimmick. It is a very fun gimmick.
For those who have played Final Fantasy Tactics, Vagrant Story, or FF14, same developers, by the way. So if you love any of those games that I've just mentioned, you would probably love 12 as well. Amazing games, amazing developers. Absolute 5-head ideas they put into this game that it was even possible to put this out on the PS2. For instance, what still blows my mind is that how they made the character models. They actually only made half the character models and then mirrored it. That's how they saved a ton of space. They just took the character models and then mirrored it.
I didn't know that.
That's genius.
That is some serious 5-head logic.
Okay, that's split for Team Mog.
Yay! Now, Team Tonberry coming up on there as well. So yeah, behold the beauty of the Mimic Queen again, for it will be gone again in 5 seconds-ish. And then we only have one more chance to behold the glory. A little bit of a tactic that we've had so far with this fight is the Mimic Queen has all the little baby mimics around it, which are annoying, but we don't really care about because they leave us in peace as long as we leave them in peace. However, if we kill some of them, the Mimic Queen will get an extra move named Spawn, where, well, she just spawns another one, gives birth to another Mimic right in front of us. And,
It's not guaranteed, but it is very nice.
Due to that, it does delay her Shock Storm, which is her cinematic attack, her cutscene attack. So what we used to do by now is we set the gambit that 2 characters will attack the enemies with the highest HP, which in this case was the boss, and 1 character will always first aim at the enemy with the lowest HP, which is one of the kids around. So we kill 1 kid to make the Mimic Queen use Spawn to have basically an extra few seconds so we can basically guaranteed skip this cutscene.
This should end up in a loop because the first time Mimic Queen does a spawn, and then because you keep on using Dark on Mimic Queen, it also kills the spawn, and then she's giving birth again to another one, so she's using spawn, and that's kind of like an endless cycle of Mimic Queen just trying to make kids, but nah, we're killing all of them.
I mean, also she's dead before she can even try to give birth to another one, so... Dark OP!
Dark
Also maybe
very
just to,
OP.
also maybe
It's
just
like 500 gil at the start or something.
Also maybe just to mention, so with the Dustier Guide at the start, we went up with our characters to level 11. So, was it 12? 11? 12? I have not played this game in too long. 10 plus,
Really
let's
high.
let's put it that way. 10 plus.
13? I don't remember either.
10 plus, we stick with it. And the Barheim passage here is a recommended dungeon to be in with level 6. So just having these 5 extra levels on our magic power is already just enough extra damage to just be broken. If we were gotten in here with level 1, the enemies would not have died as quickly, even with the same spell.
Oh yeah.
Y'all have notes? What are notes?
Yeah, whenever you level up, you get certain stats increased at whatever time. And they're not exactly... They don't level up at the same time for every character, right?
What are notes? I'm routing on the run.
Yes.
I'm routing while running.
My return is already overlaid.
I mean,
Just kidding, but you can't do that. You can't do that. It's called bingo or randomizer.
It is. Now, I very much remember the number 11 as the number of Dustiers that we kill by now. Was it the amount of potions? No, it was the amount of potions we died. We killed 13. It is probably then still level 11 though, because at some point you don't get a level up at any kill.
No, that would be like level 12 or 13.
Would it?
But yeah,
whatever. We don't.
Yeah.
We don't talk
now
about
going
that
to
anymore. We're
Woadyb.
past that. We're past that.
We're going to Woadyb, which is for less than how much are we in? I know we're an hour into the relay, but how much is that into 12?
Half an hour.
Like 20 minutes?
30
half an
minutes.
hour?
30 minutes.
30 minutes, yeah.
Mimic Queen
That's
usually is like
really
a
fast.
28-ish.
And on PS2, obviously,
Would be a few hours into the game already.
We leave Barheim at like what, 59 minutes is usually a decent time for Barheim.
Never mind.
And from Woadyb we will go straight to the Lucid Mines, because Balthier has some business to attend to there, as well as a
Lamont.
guest that Lena just picked up, which is called Lamont. Yeah, just Lamont, because everything else is a spoiler.
Lamont, see that little guy.
And
That's
yes,
Lamont.
that is a
Lamont.
guy. It is indeed a guy.
Funnily enough, the JP voice is for Lamont. Or Lamont is actually voiced by a woman in JP, but that's normal. A lot of like young boys are voiced by a female seiyus in Japan.
To be fair,
Which is actually normal.
To be fair, isn't the
Normal.
English Son Goku also by a voiced by a woman? Wasn't there something like that?
English Son Goku? No. JP Son Goku.
Or that way around.
English Son Goku is Sean Schemmel, and Sean Schemmel was also Lucario from Smash Bros. And also some kind of mammoth from Yu-Gi-Oh! GX, supposedly. I don't
Well,
know.
it's actually kind of common, I think, for if you're playing a young boy or prepubescent boy, in like plays in America, there will still be women who play, and because they have the higher voice, you know. That way, like older men will play younger men because their voice has dropped and they can't do it anymore. Or Bart,
right?
That's a woman. Right?
Yeah, even in German, actually, even in German, it's a female voice actress, which is mind blowing. I think it's cool what voice acting can do. It's awesome. Do you guys notice that I'm like kind of like voice acting nerd? That I know like a bunch of names, and I'm like way too deep into that stuff. Is it just me, or is Woadyb and Lena almost on the same screen? Okay, not almost, but almost.
They were for a second on the bridges, but they're still like 2 screens apart. They are still like 2 screens apart. And Dessa is actually catching up quite good. Team Choco is catching up.
FFTCG next year?
So good.
I'm sorry.
Well, that he will probably make up some time. While the other 2 are competent in their own right, obviously. Can't take anything from them.
Shouting
shout time? Lena?
I'm Captain Boss!
The first shout is easy. The second shout is like pixel
Come
perfect.
on, Lena. Come on, make us proud.
You have to shout. You have to shout like pixel perfect to get all 3, and she didn't.
Almost.
Yep. It really is. It
perfect, is. But yeah,
it is very hard.
Woadyb.
Only getting the tour guide, not the woman next to the tour guide.
You don't need to. No, you don't need to if you get 2 shout. You don't need to if you get 2 shout. Come on, get it.
No.
Come on, Woadyb.
Too far to the right.
Yeah, he didn't do it. But...
That's okay. That's the worst one. If you don't hear the one from left nor right, then you have it really horrible. That could be really awful.
We'll not be able to take them all.
But it still worked with 3, I guess.
3 shout is still amazing.
3 shout
it's still
is
really
common, quote unquote.
Yeah, it's like getting a 3 crystal instead of a 4 crystal.
Right. I would like to point out though, because I tried to bring this up earlier, but there have been more 4 crystal world records than 2 crystal world records, by the way.
I mean, we know that
ever been the 2 crystal world record. That's
2
the other
crystals
question.
Are cursed. 2 crystals are cursed in this community, by the way.
I sincerely think the same, because every time I have a 2 crystal, either my Dustia is god-awful, my Fireman is god-awful, or my Barheim is god-awful. Or something bad happens if I get a 2 crystal. Like, I always know, like, okay, I got a 2 crystal, where's the run gonna die now? It's so sad. It's so sad.
It really, it's kind of like watching over your shoulder, you're like, damn it. You know, you're just waiting for the other shoe to fall.
Yeah. Right. More things. As I dipped into earlier, so Luna and Woadyb are now entering the Leviathan, which is the place where the boss happens, where the step count matters, and it's by no means free. I didn't actually notice too much of the movement, so it will be actually interesting to see who gets it, who doesn't. We know Woadyb for Tonberry will not have a chance to get it, no matter how pixel perfect his movement could have been for Crystal ruined it. I don't know about how close the movement was. That is always the thing also, but I have to say personally, I'm often enough just like 20-30 steps over, which doesn't sound a lot, and is actually also not a lot. But that is already enough to mess everything up. 1 step is enough to do no damage. Yep.
From 9,990 damage down to 0 by 1 step.
And Lena looks good.
If is brutal.
Yeah. So if people from FF7 say, yeah, step count, yeah, we got that too. We know what you're going through, guys. We know what you're going through. And that's the judges' fight on Lena's.
Everyone knows the feeling of walking into Sid, casting Traveler on him, and watching a bunch of zeros pop up and being like, "Oh boy."
So as we mentioned before, so For Luna, it was quick. For Woadyb, he actually had to manually kill him. Did get a little bit lucky, though. The thing also, though, is with killing them manually, he uses up a lot of MP, which can leave him short for geese, which now raises the question for me, is he going to go for the save strat and actually picking up the save crystal just to make sure he doesn't run out on geese? Or will he actually just YOLO it?
Update on Dessa, he now made it also onto the Leviathan. He sadly did not get the 2-shout like we hoped that would happen. However, we hopefully see a Karkata or 2, or maybe 3 even in the run. Would be awesome.
Maybe
also,
even more? Maybe even more?
Lena is the only person that I know of that takes the left path here. I
do as
never
well.
see anyone taking the left path.
I do as well. I do as well. Here, Hab. Hi.
Wait, you're also taking the left path?
Yep.
Oh,
what?
God.
I mean,
Why
generally,
That's hearsay.
Generally here, it doesn't matter. It is basically a mirrored path. It doesn't matter which way you go. It is basically just personal preference.
That's hearsay.
So wrong. Like
going left is the wrong path. Even though it's the same speed, it doesn't matter. Left is the wrong path.
Oh well. Alright, so...
have an opinion on which way is good for you.
Geese time. It's now time to use Oroga mode and... Well, actually, personally...
I personally like to use the Oroga mode here, but optimally by now the Oroga mode is used to kill the 3 guards with Vossler.
I was about to say, I would use the Oroga mode on Vossler instead. But yeah, each has their preference. The 3 darks get usually rid of the ads for geese perfectly, without any issues. And that's geese for both Woadyb and Lena.
And it actually was a close one for Woadyb, as Vaughn and Fran have been completely out of MP. They would not have been able to cast another one. That was a close one, and I'm happy for Woadyb that worked out for him without any time loss.
It was calculated, don't worry.
I feel like Dessa is slowly but surely able to catch up. I feel like he's getting closer with each and every passing screen he has to go through. He's catching up.
He's champing at the bit to catch up, and you know it. He's got a fire under him. He's going.
Oh, sure. I wouldn't even be wondering if he'd go for world record in his head right now. I really wish I had some splits open, so I actually would have something to compare. Actually, there are timers on the screen, right?
Yeah. You just whatever time team Choco got on Chocobo GP. Minus the end time whenever TCA ends minus the Chocobo GP time is Dessa's time for 12.
Not even. There is in the top right of every team there is a little timer that is just for that game.
And Dessa now also going to Geese and ending him. And then we're all off the Leviathan and on the way to Belias.
Yeah, where we are
going in this version of the game, Geese can't kill himself and give himself the LP. That sucks.
So, we're actually coming up to the next bit of menuing in a little bit, but first of all, Vossler is back with us. Vossler, aka Meat Shield, as that's basically what he does. We haven't gotten any armor upgrades yet, as of right now, which means basically our characters are super weak. Hence comes Vossler with his massive 700 HP, with his on-spot armor. He is a tank. He is fairly hard to kill in this, so we abuse that to our best by just making him a party leader, tanking all the hits while walking past everything, which is
and
amazing.
He has
for us
Traveler again.
And he has Traveler, which we will abuse on 2 more bosses. Just to explain Traveler again, Traveler is a skill that deals damage based on distance walked since the last usage. So what we will
traveled specifically, knockback counts towards it too.
Yeah. So what will happen is that our runners will use the skill Traveler in a moment here again on a certain monster that's certainly positioned. So they know if they run from here to the next boss, they will reach the next boss, or next boss actually is the one that we do.
687. Write that down. It's kind of like an unspoken rule that people in chat look at the last 3 digits of that's 769. Write that down. 769. It's kind of like an unspoken rule that viewers write down the last 3 digits of the steps taken, because those 3 digits are the important one to know for the runner. Because the next time you want to use those, you want to be as close as possible to those 3 digits, but you want to be like between 1 and 10 steps off, so you can deal the max amount of damage. And if you take more than 10 steps, meaning you overstep that, you will do like 0 damage or 1 or 2 damage, and we don't want that. We want to get the 9,900 damage.
Traveler is a very weary mistress, because I don't know the exact numbers. Zero Scar in chat probably could point out the exact numbers for every damage in between every steps right now, because he has way more knowledge than us. Why isn't he on comedy? Jokes aside. But yeah, about if you're basically 980 steps from your last usage, you'll do about 2,000 to 3,000 damage. On 990 steps, you'll do 9,900 damage. And then if you go over, basically, as Harvey just said, to 1,001 steps since last usage, it resets the counter.
1,000 even.
Yeah, 1,000.
It's 1,000 already.
It's 1,000. It's not 1,001. 1,000 it just resets, and that's horrible. And it has ended a lot of runs before. Lots of runs.
Everyone died to Traveler.
The good thing,
at least once.
The great thing about TZA in this point again, it has autosave. So in case you mess it up on a boss, you can just reload the last autosave, which will only be a few seconds off.
Sorry. I'm sorry. Go on.
You might have already went over your count, so oops. Wow, Dessa is already at Garuda. Wow.
Like, he is catching up. He is really catching up.
Just
you can see what kind of a beast Dessa is in this game. He's really good. He's an extremely talented speedrunner. Like,
Luna,
oh my god.
Luna and Woadyb right now on the same...
Of course they are. Of course all of them.
But damn.
Luna and Woadyb on the same screen. Dessa right now only 2 screens behind and a few cutscene skips.
Also, we cannot forget Dessa just got a newer GPU. It's still a 1080, but it's a newer GPU than what he had before. I don't know if that's impacting loading times or just speed in general, but it does something, I guess.
Well, it wouldn't affect speed, it would affect loading time, because this game has a pretty stable frame rate.
Fight or run? We better decide fast.
Actually, I think it's CPU that affects the loading times above anything, because he does use a Ryzen CPU. I use Intel, and my my load times are a lot faster than his. And Woadyb also uses a Ryzen, and he also has horrible load times. So I don't know if it's an issue with streaming at the same time while running this, because all the hardware nerds, please don't destroy me when I say this, but I thought AMD is good if you solely want to play video games, and Intel is good if you want to do more than more than just gaming at once. That's what I remember.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Also, we just had a message in chat saying any % no Seitengrad. Lol. That is actually a thing that we maybe should address as well. Specifically for the PlayStation 4 version, there is a split between any % and any % no Seitengrad. Seitengrad being a extremely powerful weapon with a about 1 in 1,000 chance to get. Which on the PlayStation
the most powerful weapon, we should say.
Yeah, well. It is the most powerful weapon in the game with a 250 something.
224.
225.
I always overestimate it because I play too much rando, and that's the only time I've ever seen the weapon. But yeah, basically,
it's 10,000. Yeah,
it is ridiculously rare. It is hard to get, and basically, while the PlayStation versions can manipulate it to get it guaranteed, just needing to do a little bit of finicking around with damage rolls, etc. The PC version does not have that, as RNG advances differently. So while we could go for that bow, we would
fun with the RNG.
We would get there about half an hour into the run, for 1 in 10,000 chance to get that weapon, and to use it effectively, we'd need 2 of them to actually pull off the PS4, PS5 strats. So that is basically the separation, and that is the part where we're running no Seitengrad here.
One little adjustment I want to say for the Seitengrad manipulation. There is actually a tool for Switch, PC, and Xbox, but it's an absolute pain to use. I've tried it before for several hours, and I can safely say it's consistently inconsistent. I've gotten it once before after several hours of trying. And
Let's talk about Belias since we're here. We have 2 people in Belias, and he has a significant step up in HP as opposed to every other boss so far. He has like 15,000. And I'm not sure what the Zodiac stats are. I'm a PS2 runner.
The actual strat is just hit him until he's about half health, then finish him with Traveler. Woadyb got a bit unlucky here with Vossler actually dying mid-battle, which is very interesting. But I actually also forgot about that, because not too long ago there actually was a little change that saved a bit of time, made it a little bit riskier. Usually we would do basically a part of this menu we're doing, the runners are doing right now. They would do it a bit earlier and then have a healer on the Belias fight. Now they're doing it without a healer, do the menu basically together with another menu to save a handful of seconds, but therefore also taking a little bit of risk into Belias to make it annoying.
And as you can see here on Belias, on Tessa, I meant to say, he's running around trying to get Traveler done, and he is done with Belias as well. Wait, could it be that we have all 3 of them on the same menu at the same time, despite all 3 of them having a different start?
It will most likely happen, as this menu is quite lengthy as of right now.
They're all on the same menu already. That's insane. That's insane. Let's go. We're already this close. Wow. Okay, so the 3 runners are now licensing different things. I actually got the notes open. What are they getting here? Yeah, they get Bushi on Penelo, Black Mage on Ash, and they will make a Bosch a Knight. On Bosch, they will buy an HP lore, a Gamut slot, and they will also buy the Shikari board on Bosch. So the thing with the 2 boards is, if you buy one thing on one board, and it also happens to be on the other board, you can actually warp, quote-unquote, warp around on the board. Meaning if one license is extremely far away from the starting license, you can just go over there because you already bought it on the other license board. This is a lot of 5-head routing, thanks to Dessa and Nikki, which can save you a lot of LP throughout the run. Absolutely amazing. Shoutouts to all of the routers and the runners in this game, by the way. All amazing people.
We've come a long way. We are still a fairly small community with only 4, 5, 6 runners at the best times around, or generally at all times around. If you want to join and run this game, it's great.
And TZA.
I mean, I'm talking for what we're running right now specifically for TZA PC. The main category actually is PS4, as that is the fastest one, or PS2 if that's your preference. But PC is kind of a niche that is currently still somewhat in development, that we're still improving every few months on.
We do have a very good Discord, though, where we try to help each other whenever. We also have tutorial that I made a while ago. It is a little bit outdated when it comes to the menu side, but other than that, it's basically up to date. We also have, I think we have public notes, do we?
Yes, we do have.
I don't know about the public notes because I'm using my own, so...
I want to say Woadyb actually sat down and actually made a set of notes that was given to him and made it publicly available, and added a few things for newbie safety.
It was Mythic, I think, who did that.
Or that.
Okay, so we're now on Vossler. Vossler is a very risky fight, not only in TZA. because he can hit like a truck. And what I mean with that is he can combo you if he wants to, and if he combos you, you're gone. You're absolutely gone. So the strat here is to use an Aroga mode and use Arrow/Dark reflected from the Reflector mode that you picked up on Leviathan, and cast that on yourself, that then reflects off of you onto Vossler to do a ton of damage in a very short amount of time.
Yeah,
and that's Vossler on Woady's side.
And there
on
he goes
Luna's
on
side.
Dessa about to catch up. I think he's actually in the... Yeah, he's also on the fight already.
Wow, all of them were basically in the fight or ending the fight or starting it all at the same time. That's so good. Especially we're, what, an hour and a half into this relay or whatever?
And we're
really good.
So close.
We're less than a minute apart.
Also, another nice touch that makes the Vossler fight a little bit easier for us is that Vossler is hard-coded to always attack Bosch if Bosch is on the team. So we kind of abuse that to, have him target Bosch all the time, make Bosch a little bit more tanky, give him more HP, and give him the gambit to heal himself whenever he takes damage. So
I'm sorry, but I just had to pause for a moment because Mog and Tonberry just did the exact same inputs a couple of seconds ago. I don't know why, but that just looked so cool. I don't know why. It just looked so cool when they did the exact same inputs at the same time on stream. That looks so cool.
That kind of thing is always amazing.
Not to bring the attention away, but someone said my mic was quiet earlier and it should have been adjusted, so I'm making sure that you guys can hear me better now on stream. Just checking really quick. Anyway, back to the run.
Okay, we're now entering Giza Plains, and with that, we're starting Trials again. So if you missed Trials, here we go again.
And this time a little bit further, because this time we're actually not just going in for floor 1 for that diamond armlet that sells for 6,000 gil, but we're actually going to go in a bit deeper, because now our main goal is license points. As mentioned before, license points are a very important part of the run, and in the trial mode they drop like crazy. Usually every normal monster drops 1 license point, some rare games and bosses drop more.
Alright,
here...
For a TZA noob for me, explain it. Is LP more important, or is XP more important in this case?
LP.
Okay,
so
none of them...
You don't necessarily need to hit a level, do you?
We did before, where we actually had basically a hard level that we needed at some point, but we basically have 2 separate things where this is just most best thing to do for license points, as 1 trial till floor 6 will give every party member about 150 to 200 license points, plus the 1 character of us has a gold amulet, gets double of that, and it takes about 2 minutes to get 150 license points, which is huge. Allows us to basically get over half the board if we want to in a matter of minutes. And later on in a little bit we will do some experience grind, but generally speaking we will have 1 grinding segment coming up in a little bit, as of basically right now. Now between Belias and Tiamat is the big grinding part of the game. And after that, basically, we don't care about experience anymore. We just get what we get, and if it's more or less than any other run, it doesn't really matter.
Alright.
Okay,
I asked mainly because I'm more of a PS2 runner, and I just have a good 12 general knowledge, so...
That is completely fine.
It's pretty nice, you know. Oh wow, they're all in Jahara at the same time. That's
incredible. They're all on the same, like, text boxes. It's insane how close they are. Oh my god, team close race, let's go. Okay, we've entered now the territory of Jahara, and in Jahara we will find, or we will have another shop that we will go and visit. And they will buy a Magaroku, a Flame Staff, a Feather Cap, a Traveler's Vestment, and Fyra there. Magaroku because Ash is using the Bushi job to deal damage. And that's why we need to Katana Magaroku. Flamestaff also for Ash because she is like bouncing back and forth between the Bushi job and the Black Mage job to deal a ton of damage with Faraga later on in the run, or Fyra. And Feather Cap and Traveler's Vestment is also for Ash again, to get extra defense not only defense, but also anything that has to do with magic, so to up Ash's magic stats. Because I don't know why, but for some reason, the Bushi attack stats, or the Katana attack stats, are getting not only stronger with the stats if you have higher attack stats, but if you also have higher magic stats. Meaning the higher your magic stat is for Katana users, you will also deal more damage with Katanas.
Yes, and that is also very great in the combination, because for right now we want to use Ash as AoE control. That's why we bought Fyra. Fyra is the first, well, okay, not the first AoE. In vanilla, it would be the first AoE spell. No, actually, I would still be Arrow. Fyra. Fire spell, it's AoE, it does a ton of damage. Due to the Flame Staff that we bought, it will deal 25? 50? 25. I think it will 25% more damage.
I think it's 100% more damage, right?
Is it
or is it 50%? It's one of the two.
It is more damage. We don't really care about numbers anymore. I probably will stop trying with numbers. We deal more damage.
Which numbers? Which numbers? I didn't pay attention.
Flame Staff Fire boost.
1 point. 1 point.
So it's a 50% boost.
So also the magic armor, as Harvey already said, boosts the magic stats, which means, of course, with the spells she will deal more damage, but also for this part, kind of more importantly, it also boosts her max MP. And MP are very tight at this point of the run, because what we're going to do now as we leave Bihara is we're going to do 4 more rounds of trials. 5 more? 4 more? I really have to de-rust this game. We do more trials, and we want to try to get as many in without having to do anything in between, and at some point our MP is just gonna run out. We got some licenses that we will refill some MP upon dealing magic damage and upon killing enemies. That will help us keep it up a little bit, but MP are actually a little bit of an issue right here, which is the main reason for the armor. And yeah, with that, as I said, we're gonna do more trials now on our way to the next station, to Aerut Village, and after that,
Choco is leading. Choco is leading.
Yeah.
Also, I slipped German again. I'm sorry.
It's fine. Yeah, we all know Dessa is just a beast. Dessa is on its own level. There was a time where we all thought, hey, we can compete with him. By now, he's just gone.
Okay, so Team Choco, aka Dessa, is already ahead, and just by a couple menus, to all JRPG runners out there, practice your menus, because if you're fast in your menus, you can save so much time. Well, you can literally decide if you win a race or not by having better menus. It's crazy.
What it is that when you're doing a long run, it's the micro things that matter. Menus, the tiny little bit of extra movement, remembering where your cursor is, stuff like that. That is where you save your time.
Also to mention, trial mode, we actually have a few things we want to watch out for. There is, on floor 3, we encounter a flowering cactoid that has a 3% chance to steal a Carcata from, which is a very overpowered sword that is actually routed in case we get it, and makes a lot of the more annoying bosses into kittens, because it literally makes them unable to do anything. As well, from floor 3, we want to kill the Ripe Rampager, which has a chance to drop bubble and reverse modes. Which will be which bubble modes we want to have 7 by the end of these trials to get past the rest of the run, and reverse mode as a backup for one fight to make it a little bit more safe. On floor 5, from the werewolf, the giant tiger thingies, there is a 3% chance to steal a pair of berserk bracers, which is an accessory that actually we will go out of our way later in the game to grab it. That is so good it is. And if we get it early here as a rare steal, it is always amazing.
Mm-hmm. 2 right from Pager, I might add. The bubble mods are not 100% things that we're looking for. We're mainly actually killing Riprim Pager for the LP, because it's 16 LP, and whoever has Golden Amulet equipped gets double that, so 32. So that's an insane amount of LP you do not want to miss out on. And the bubble mode is just an extra that you can get because you can get a bubble mode in the chest in stage 5, which I usually go for.
Yeah, the thing is, you need 7, and that's less. I mean, you can technically go for all 5 trials here, grab 1, get 5, and then there are 2 bosses where you can grab another 1 each. But, of course, that is a little bit going out of our way, so the bubble modes actually are huge, and we do require them for certain boss fights, as they are so optimized right now that without the status effect bubble, which doubles our max HP, by the way, for a temporary time, we will not be able to survive.
Okay, I did not count. How many trial stages are we in now? I stopped counting.
4, I think.
Looking at I'm
4.
looking at 3 screens with 3 persons. I think we are on 3 because that's actually usually what I do. I do 3 before A route, heal up in A route, and then do 2 more in A route. Then again, I don't even know if anyone already reached A route. I think Dessa did, actually, now that I see that Woadyb for Team Tonberry just entered the jungle. So Dessa might actually be on this 4th already.
Yeah.
Come on, someone has to get Karkata.
It is hard to keep
Blade.
track.
Come on!
It is hard to keep track here.
Dessa's still in Osmond, but he's definitely not on... he's definitely in his 4th. Luna's in Europe? No, that's Woadyb. Woady's in Europe.
Come on, someone get Karkata.
I haven't looked at Luna's screen in a hot second.
I have all 3 up on all my 3 different screens, and I just lose everything right now.
What's trial mode for? Trial mode allows us to get things to use for later, things to sell for money, LP,
and a buttload of LP.
Yeah.
It's insane how much LP you get. You don't get EXP.
LP, things to sell, things to use. Hopefully, Karkata RNGs just bless us all.
If we get to see at least 1, that would be amazing. Just to be able to show off the difference that sword can make.
I mean, you're going trials in around 6 times. So in this relay, there will be 18 times the chance that we can get Karkata.
Like, but it
should happen.
3%. It is only a 3%.
It can't happen. Like, come on, give it to us, game. Give it to us.
It surely would be great.
An hour and 40 minutes ago, I think.
The timer is on the stream. Next to the Final Fantasy series Relay 7, there's a timer, and that's how long ago the timer started.
It's incredible looking at, as a PS2 player, looking at this and being like, wow, they're like an hour in, and they're all the way here in this area, right? We usually would get here in PS2 in over 2 hours.
Welcome to Final Fantasy XII.
Welcome to the power of
That's how I felt, because I run both, and it's just still mind-boggling to me.
Right, and then on PS2, we, just under an hour, we're leaving Barheim. Remember Barheim? Way back when? No, you don't, because it was so long ago, right? Like,
what do you mean so long ago? It's been like half an hour, 45 minutes-ish?
In the 30 minutes in this version of the run is ages, man.
That is fair.
Wait, yeah. Did Lena do all trials? She's already done. Am I missing something? What?
You may have not. I don't think she did, because the other 2 are still going.
Yeah, and she started after.
Or a route for it. I don't know.
Maybe she just went at the start of Henna Mines.
Ow! She must have cut something. Or
I don't know. Maybe she just does one at the start of Henna Mines. I don't know. We'll see. It
will clear out. It is hard to keep track. Ah, there she
I
goes.
have 3 screens on my right screen, and then I have the Twitch on my left screen. Like, it's a lot of things to look at. I'm not paying attention.
Okay. I think Dessa has one more chance, as well as Lena and as well as Woadyb. All 3 of them have one more chance to get a Karkata. Let's see,
And
3 Karkatas back to
do.
back. Let's do this. 3 Karkatas back to back. We can do this. Come on, chat.
And
Friends
definitely
in
up.
chat.
I've had
Also,
runs.
watching everyone sell diamond armlets is so Monka-esque for me. Oh my god.
Yeah, because you actually had to work for them and actually had uses for them.
Yeah, I have uses for them, and you know, the
Long
runs
sword?
I
Long
do.
sword. Well, nothing for Lena.
Dessa looking for Team Choco. Couldn't steal. Is he gonna get a
Nothing
second
for-
steal in?
Long sword.
For
Come on, Woadyb.
Dessa.
Come on. Good for us.
Woadyb!
Long sword. Alright. Sad.
Well, no Karkata this time. Did actually someone get Karkata last year? I don't remember.
I don't think so.
Yeah, basically the only reason why we love Karkata so much is that you can confuse loop bosses and
Yeah, generally speaking, so we're running around with weapons that have an attack power of like 30 to 40. In a little bit, we'll pick up a weapon with 70 attack power that will be the main weapon that a boss will use for a while.
70, isn't it like 53?
Isn't your Ashura like 70? I want to say
Oh,
Ashura's
Ashura!
70.
I thought
Yeah.
you were talking about Demon Spain.
No, I'm talking about the Ashura, because that's coming up in a little bit.
I actually don't know. I think it's like 67, which is, well, it's close to 70, but, you know.
So yeah, just saying like 70-ish attack power, which will be Bosch's main weapon until quite a good bit into the run. Second to last dungeon-ish. And...
Oh, Lena's still doing a trial. So she still has the chance to get a Karkata.
Will it happen?
here we go.
Mithril
Nah,
Blade.
Mithril Blade! Ah, rip. It didn't happen.
Mithril Blade,
Ashura's 72. Okay, so 72 Ashura. Just to, again, like, we're going to pick up a 72 attack power weapon in a little bit that will carry us into the late game. The Karkata has a 94 attack power, and on top of that has
93.
on-hit...
I'm
90
sorry.
plus, 90 plus. I already said before, why am I even trying with numbers?
Yeah, Rando just
God.
absolutely destroys your number muscle memory.
It sure
I
does.
got bad at math when they added numbers, okay?
It sure does. So yeah, it is a 90 plus attack power weapon with on-hit confusion, and you'd be surprised how many of the most annoying bosses in late game that can actually mess you up if they just feel like it are weak to confusion. And with the attack speed you have by that point, you basically just hit him. He gets out of confusion, he starts charging something, before he can finish charging, he gets hit again, confused again, stops his move, will try for something else, gets hit by another party member, and that just loops until the enemy dies. That is the main power of it. Also, at this point, since we mentioned it a few times already, there are 2 amazing randomizers made by Bards. Goddammit, I'm bad with numbers. 34? 34. For the Zodiac 8 release. Great place if you love this game. Maybe check them out. And Nemo Karkata used to be different in the original game. Yes, Karkata in the original name was the Bloodsword A.
A. Yeah. Bloodsword A. Bloodsword A is the ICJS name. They actually gave the weapons proper names in TCA, because in ICJS they called them the Final Fantasy weapons, because there were very specific weapons with specific letters, and if you got all of them, they spelled out Final Fantasy. When you got them.
I didn't know
Yes.
that. That's
Yes.
cool.
Bloodsword A. What was it? I think Demon's Blade Y instead of Danjuro. You were able to drop that from Hunter's Blade F. It was Hunter's Blade F from Lavar Eater. You can drop Hunter's Blade F from Lavar Eater instead of Danjuro, I think. I think that was it.
Larva Eater? Well, Larva Eater is already BS to go get anyway. Right? Like...
Imagine dropping a Danjuro. Couldn't be me.
Imagine
Never dropped one.
randomly getting a Donjuro in OOA practice. Cough, cough. Zero.
And he got it in a run in his first one of that. So
I only get it in the randomizers, and there it's crap most of the time.
To be honest, though, isn't like Donjuro like in general pretty bad? Like I never got Donjuro before, so I can't judge. But it looks like it's pretty bad.
I mean, the instant death is nice, and if you actually have someone that specializes in daggers, especially for TCA, when you have a Shikari that focuses in daggers and dark blades, it is decent for grinding.
Was Donjuro dropped by Larva Eater, or was it stolen from Larva Eater?
It was dropped.
Larva Eater dropped in the original.
Either way, it was like, but Larva Eater was already hard enough to get. Or is not hard to get, but
it takes time. It takes time. It takes patience.
A lot of time.
Okay, this is just pointing it out. This is the longest menu in the entire run, so that's why you see everyone being on the same menu, because this menu is incredibly long. It's really long. It takes so much to set up. It takes so much to license everything that you need, because you license most of what you need throughout the run now.
It used to be a lot shorter, just getting basically what we need right now, and etc. But the thing is, really recently also we had a little bit of a reroute where we noticed, hey, we can do this instead of that, and this instead of that, and now we have a lot more license points here at this point. So we're basically already doing licenses that we usually would only do about Balfenheim.
Which is ways away from now.
Which is like basically the last 45 minutes of the run.
And now Dessa has taken a huge leap ahead. Oh my god.
Yeah, that's the thing with the grinding segment. Depending on how you work with it and depending on what's going on, it can make a huge difference. I've had splits where I've suddenly saved 3 minutes on this grinding segment, and I was like, where the heck did that come from?
Well, it's not only that, but just the being efficient with the menu is
incredibly helpful.
That's the huge part of it, which of course is some like full logic, but the menuing, Dessa is so efficient at the menuing because basically he's the one who came up with it.
Yes.
As far as I'm aware.
Yeah, he and Nikki did most of the routing. Like, hands down, they're the two runners that made the most, or did the most for the run.
Also, since Harvey and I talked the most, DDG, your time to shine. We're going to go do jelly farming now. 5 rooms of jelly farming to get the experience for basically the rest of the run. And DDG, you should know very well what it is. Do you like to explain it, since you haven't talked much?
Okay, so jellies are these little blue blobs that are going to drop down from the ceiling. And I don't know if in TZA if you pick up all the drops immediately or if you wait until the second room. But essentially, there's going to be between 10 and I think 25-ish jellies that drop down.
I want to say it was nerfed in TZA to be a max of 17.
Well, either way, there's going to be a bunch that drop down. Okay, so you skip the drops in the first room. And the reason why is because you want to wait until the drops get at a higher chain level, so you get better drops, blah, blah, blah. Now, the reason why this is so important, or so nice, is because these jellies die in one cast of Fire Up. If you have one on and you're high enough level, which obviously this Ash is high enough level. So you can go into this room, pick up, or kill everything, pick up the drops in the second room, and then enemies in this game only respawn after you go 2 zones away. So you can... Do I mean blah blah blah? Yeah. You can go 2 zones away by taking this specific path going in and out of the room both ways. And what this does is that it resets the enemies, and it's roughly the same amount of time to go both ways, and it's just super efficient. And you can see that already 43, 44, 45, 46 enemies for Dessa already, And he's picking up all of those drops now, and they're the highest chain rate already. And that is a very efficient way to get money, gil for drops.
What you just saw on what Lena did, what the other two runners did at the start of Hennemines, was killing off Larsa with Fyra. So the reason why we do that is because Larsa is an extra character, and the game, for some reason, they added that in ICGS. Guest characters can level up, which was not a thing in the original version of Final Fantasy XII. However, what was a thing in the original version of FF12 was that if you have a guest character alive, they eat your extra EXP you get. So the way how the way how EXP works in this game is that each and every enemy has a set amount of EXP that is divided between the characters that are active in party right now. And the thing is, with guests, you cannot put them in reserve, so the only way to make them not take away any of your EXP is to kill them off. And in this case, Lars is just completely useless, because we just deal way too much damage and are good enough with our Cura alone, so we don't need him, and we just kill him off to get some extra EXP. And throughout the entire grind, that should grant you like 1 extra level, which is actually crazy.
Yeah. And another thing also that we want to look out for during this grind are not the drops, because they have 4 different items they can drop. The most common one are water stones, which don't sell for a lot, we don't really care about. Or water magicites, to be more precise. The second rarest drop are yellow liquids, which sell for a good pretty penny. And
which is what you want.
Yeah, which is
531 to be exact. I'm sorry.
Which is the main we want to complete our money grind and hopefully get all the money that we need for the rest of the game. The third rarest item are teleport stones, which are stones that will be used up at yellowish crystals, as you can see right now on Dessa and Woady's stream. Those are teleport crystals. If you have a teleport stone, you can teleport from a teleport crystal to another teleport crystal. And we want to have at least like 3 or 4 of them for the rest of the run. And then the most rare drop from the jellies are float modes. Float modes.
And oh my gosh,
float modes
are in certain areas.
Yeah, float modes are an item that give you the status effect float, which will allow you to walk over traps. Traps can be set on specific places on the map. Can have different effects, from causing a barrage of status effects to simply just killing 2 or 3 of your characters with the damage they do. So that's pretty nice in some areas. As well,
open with disabled. Ouch.
Yeah, so Dessa is now on the Tiamat fight, and he can start. Tiamat can open with the move Disable God, and it got pretty bad. It hit Bosch and Larsa, 2 big damage dealers.
I got disabled. Yeah.
It was awful, but we're back to good now. But now we're in the crit HP for Dessa, and that's when he has damage reduction, and it takes a lot more hits to get him done. But Dessa is done with Tiamat.
Yeah.
Another thing you see the runners do here is you see Penelo constantly walking against Tiamat. This for some reason creates aggro to a point where Tiamat is more likely to target Penelo, who stands
enmity.
Yeah,
that's what it's causing, is that it's kind of like aggro, but not exactly.
Yeah,
like,
it's not aggro itself. It's just you're the closest character to Tiamat, which Tiamat targets whoever is closest or has the most enmity. Because I think, okay, I don't know exactly how enmity works. Zero, don't lecture me afterwards.
It's a host of things, really.
It's a mix of things, but in this case, we mainly just walk into him to make sure that we are the closest to Tiamat center. That's actually a very specific detail. You have to be the closest to Tiamat center, because if you have one character at his face and one other character at let's say, his side, then the character on the side gets targeted because the character on the side is closer to the center of Tiamat than the one who's at his face.
So yeah, and basically the reason why we want the aggro on Penelo there is to move Penelo basically on the opposite side of him. So if he casts Disable Gar, it will only hit one person instead of all four.
And Disable on Penelo is obviously not that big of a deal. And she's not the damage dealer.
She's literally just a healer, and she will never attack a single time throughout this run. Except maybe...
it sucks that she wouldn't be able to cure, but you want to be able to kill. You want to be able to kill her. No.
She might attack during the run if she gets confused at some point, but we hope that doesn't happen.
Confused, and maybe at the very start of the run, if you have
damage down, yeah.
If you have a Dustia set up that requires you to hit with Penelo.
No, the whole thing about Penelo being useless, all those jokes. In TZA, if she's not healing, she might actually be pretty useless.
And that's Tiamat for Team Mog.
Ah, wow. I'm so jealous of you guys in TZA because you guys
feel free to join us.
You get the damage reduction, and it's like it's whatever. You just power through the damage reduction. It's like we have to set up Traveler and all that.
Feel free to join us, and in that case, if anyone in chat is actually interested in this run, we have a Discord. Come say hi. We gladly help you out with every need, no matter what version and what patch of the game you want to play. Heck, we even have a leaderboard for Switch, if you want to play it on Switch.
Be prepared to be memed to death.
We don't
if you wanna run the game, I mean, don't you have a PC? Reference to don't you guys have phones? don't you guys have phones?
As you play any character in speedrunning fights are always Gambit. You basically set up the run with Gambits. Just to... You still have to stay on top of the fights, because stuff is going to go wrong, end of story, it's 12. That's how it works. But, yes,
first
you set up the majority of everything.
The Gambits don't do everything in all versions, because the Gambits are doing only the basic things, and the trying to not die part is what you have to do. And trying to not die, while the game is running 4 times faster than usual, it's not easy. Believe it or not, it's not easy to stay alive while being underleveled, while trying to deal a lot of damage, while getting absolutely destroyed from high-level bosses. It's not easy.
Now, is it really 4 times quicker than normal if they only do TZA? Because wouldn't this just be normal to them? Sir?
No, I mean like in actuality, 4 times speed.
I know, I'm just meaning. I'm just playing.
Shoutouts that this game actually has autosaves. What would I give that for to be a thing on vanilla?
Oh, it makes vanilla more exciting, and you know it.
Okay, we're now in the still shrine of medium, and here the gimmick is basically you have to run around, hit a couple of switches while having the Dawn Shard equipped, because these switches do only work if it recognizes that the wielder has the treasure of the Dynast King. Yeah, Dynast King equipped.
Something, right?
It's
like to prove your worth or your heritage or something like that. I think.
Yeah, something like that. It says something like that in the inscription. It says something like that in the inscription. And yeah. Going through Giruvegan, trying to not die. Things are slowly but surely trying to hit hard, especially moves like Tri-Attack, that it can also slow you. Not very nice sight to behold, getting Tri-Attacked, no matter which category, except NLB, LLG actually. You actually want to get Tri-Attack there, because that doesn't one-shot you.
Tri-Attacked in OOA is laughable after Shemazai. It's just whatever, as well.
Yeah, I can't imagine. Okay,
OG
and
PS2 is the original Fight Me. OG is PS2 because this is different than the original.
Dessa is about to get the Ashura. Just a little bit more to go, and he will get a weapon upgrade for Bosch.
You guys don't do the warp here, do you?
No, we don't.
What kind
I don't
of
even
warp?
think we get
We
to
do.
mobilize.
Actually, we don't need it. We don't need it. Yeah, no.
Oh
we do
yeah,
that, we
right.
do that.
You mean that? Yeah. I thought you meant the PS2 warp. You meant.
I mean, even the PS2 warp works here, because if we put battle speed on slowest, we can actually outrun a person that does an action, and therefore cause that.
Oh, looks like Dessa is not doing the too far warp strategy here. Unless he does it later.
Nah, I don't think he will.
This is just making my poor PS2 hurt. I don't know TZA that well.
Generally speaking, if you're interested in the warp that we were just discussing, we will, even if none of the runners should do it here, there is a point later in the run where we will do it, and we will show it off, and it is hilarious. So stick around for that.
Nicknamed the social distance warp. Ooh, statue troll for Dessa.
Oof, that's not a good sign. But there is something that we can do about too far by statue trolls. If you actually walk back a certain distance and go back, you can easily turn the statue again. I think that's TZA only, though.
It is. The main thing is for TVA, while the game moves in times 4 speed, and the statue will also turn in times 4 speed, it will only register as a normal speed, so usually what you have to do is, even if the statue finishes the animation of turning around, you still have to wait like 4 or 5 seconds till the game registers the action as done, before you can talk to the statue again. Which is avoided by just walking a few meters back and forth.
Now, is that a thing on PS2? I've never heard that.
It shouldn't be, because it is a speed-up thing. It is a thing that's caused by the speed-up.
Okay.
I don't think I've ever seen that being used on PS2, nor do I think would it be useful. I don't think so.
Would it be a thing on IZJS?
Generally, the thing
I don't know.
is just happening on speed up, because during, as I said, the animation finishes, then you walk basically away to make the prompt disappear and reappear to reset things. Ooh, double statue
Is that
troll.
all 3 statue trolls for Dessa?
Was the first one a troll as well?
I mean, it gets all three runners closer, I guess.
I think all 3 for Dessa were trolls. That's mean.
Maybe also,
I think I've never seen that before.
So maybe also
I've put some hours into this game.
Also, maybe to explain statue
it
troll.
has happened to me. I can tell you that it's happened to me. But
yeah,
and 12 is a cruel mistress.
Yeah, also maybe to explain what we mean by statue troll. So we have to put these 3 statues around the temple that they face in a certain direction, and they can spawn in any of the 3 other directions. Basically, we can consider it a troll if it is pointing to, if it's looking to the exact opposite, and we basically have to turn it twice. Then we consider it a troll.
Luna got a statue troll. Wow. This is just all around. Like who pissed off RNGesus?
Statue troll for literally everyone. Oh my god. Statue troll, man. Literally for everyone.
I mean, statistically speaking, 1 statue troll per run is common. As we have 3 statues, and basically every statue has a 1 in 3 chance to be facing the bad direction. Statistically speaking, 1 per run.
Well, yeah, but one is whatever, kind of, because it's like, what, 8 seconds, I think? Well, on PS2, I think it's like 8 seconds.
Don't ask me about
time. It's still 8 seconds too many.
Yeah, of course.
I'm that kind of person who says that's 8 seconds too many. I want my time save.
Yeah, well, you decided to run FF12, so who is at fault here?
I mean, didn't we all agree to that? Didn't we all, but at some point out of our free will, started running this game, and then got so destroyed and distracted in a way that we just don't want to leave anymore, even though we hate it all?
I blame Zero for making me love this game again. I started watching Zero and I just watched him destroy it, and then I was like, ooh, OOA sounds cool. Now, here I am.
Not wanting to start any controversies, but in my opinion, I have still to say that Final Fantasy XII is my favorite Final Fantasy and as well my favorite game of ever. I can just replay it ever and ever again.
Tessa for defeating Mateus.
Yeah, that was a Monka, Mateus. But yes, 12 is a wonderful game. I agree with you, Hab. It's my second favorite game ever. Only FF10 is better to me.
For me, it's the exact other way around.
We'll see.
Don't start this topic, please.
We don't
not start. Don't. No.
No, hey, no. God, Hab. Oh, I saw lightning. Okay, so might disappear. I'm in the middle of a lightning storm right now. Thunderstorm.
Okay, that's not good.
Yeah, I was early as well, but right now it actually calmed down again.
Wow.
It might actually start raining or thundering, or you cast lightning bolts above our roofs as well soon-ish. At least the weather forecast said that. So, in worst case scenario, all of 3 of us will suddenly just leave and oh, where did they go? Because all of them had a
we decided to leave.
Power outage.
Talk about how we all just want to discuss our favorite Final Fantasies, but without chat, so it's not a big deal.
Okay, next boss up for Dessa and Woadyb are Bergen, or is Bergen, and Bergen is infamous to be quite annoying in both versions of the game. In TCA, he just likes to combo you, but thanks to Ashura, you can blind him, and when he's blinded, there is at least a little chance for him when he tries to hit you that he will miss. And yeah, I hope we can see a Bergen without any big troubles today.
I mean, Bergen isn't the most issue anymore. Also, we had a question from Aramath asking why are they running into the traps? Well, traps are usually one of 2 kinds in most situations. In some cases, though, we can always say that this trap in this location will have actually a positive effect. As for the trap in Mateus' boss room, it's actually 2 traps on top of each other. One that heals health, one that heals MP. And we want to use that mainly right now to heal up Penelo's MP, because MP management around this boss is tight. So having a free RNG heal that does about 50 to 100% of their Penelo's MP is very, very helpful. So we also don't have to waste elixirs.
Lena also on her way to defeat Mateus, to then make her way to Bergen. We're all really close to each other here.
I like it. TZA. Does it just show up and beat him down, or is there any specific strats for Bergen in this version?
You actually heal Ash all the time. You want her to be at full HP at all times because of the augment Serenity. Because Serenity increases your or multiplies your magic status by 1.2 times, meaning you will deal 1.2 times more damage with Fyra. That's one thing that we do, and we just use Bosch and his Ashura strats to deal insane amounts of damage. Oh, never mind, you can actually not blind Bergen, as it looks like.
You can, but it is very hard. You can, but it's very hard, as the Ashura doesn't have a guaranteed. Woody just got the blind, for example.
Oh, wow, he did? Yeah. Oh, never mind.
Yeah, the Ashura isn't 100% on attack blind.
Well, is there any weapon that is 100%? I don't.
The Karkata. The Karkata is 100% confused on hit.
Wow. I didn't know that.
It is 100% confused on hit, but if you hit a confused enemy again with the Karkata, it actually disables confuse first before instantly reapplying. Meaning, if you hit with the Karkata once, it confuses. If you hit again, confuse goes away. But if you then hit again, it then applies confuse again. Because an opponent that has confuse and hits itself gets rid of confuse. But if you're faster than the opponent, you get confuse out of the enemy first. If that makes sense, if that is made understandable. I hope that was understandable. No one got Carcata. And on to us for an eye waste. Dessa taking a little detour, as well as the other runners to get the Berserker Bracers, which is an absolute goated accessory in the run, and in my opinion is so. I think it's so sad that we don't have that accessory in PS2, because it just adds instant and permanent Berserk to your party member whoever wears the Berserker Bracers, and I feel it's just a really cool item, and I would have loved that the original game would have had that. Yeah, it's TCA only, and it's mainly used on Ashe when she is using her katanas instead of casting any spells.
Also, just in case.
Berserk gives you speed up and damage boost, right?
Yes, it is I am so bad with numbers, I'm probably gonna butcher it, but it's a 20% attack and 10% speed boost on the person who wears it. On the downside, that they will only attack on sight if anything happens, and on top of that they will always be in battle stance, means always have the weapon drawn out, in which stance you also move a little bit slower. But since we can't control that character anyway, we don't really care about that character being 10 kilometers behind us as we cross through areas.
You'll run at 5-6 speed if you have your weapon out, which is why it's so important to flee everywhere. If you were to run at say the same speed, you might not have to flee everywhere. You probably just turn off your gambits and run, honestly.
Would definitely put some ease on one finger, because you're basically constantly holding on that button. And
yeah, you're holding down R2 or right trigger basically the whole time whenever you're not.
At least 90% of the run. Basically, whenever you're not in a boss battle or menuing.
Even then, you might use it sometimes.
As someone who has spent hundreds of hours playing this game and thousands of hours running from enemies, your middle finger or index finger, whatever you use for R2, it's gonna develop a six-pack.
Like, sometimes you can put down your controller and it stays a little curled, and then you have to slowly work it out. That's fun. Happened to me.
By the way, the sad thing I have to say, like, Team Mog actually fell off during the grinding segment, which is a little bit sad, but it is just insane to me right now how close Choco and Tonberry still are throughout this race.
Well, even Mog, even being a little bit behind is,
it is completely
right
fine.
There,
It is completely fine. Lena has been doing a wonderful job this relay. It has been a little bit rough on her, the game, but it can definitely happen. As I said, especially the grinding segment is very, very optimized. If your menuing isn't on point, can lose you a lot of time against other runners, more experienced runners. But she definitely has been doing a great job. I just want, again, to point out, it is insane to me how close Choco and Tonberry still are.
Yeah, we're an hour and 40 minutes into this run or something.
I mean, the other thing to also consider is that Choco started with a 3 to 4 minute disadvantage, and is now about half a minute-ish ahead.
And we're now at the Moogle Gates. There was a theory that Moogle Gate skip might be a thing. Or should I say, it's like the only thing that people could imagine being able to be skipped. So if there are any glitch hunters in chat, feel free to find a glitch or a skip for this game, because it doesn't have any. This is like the one FF game that I think that doesn't have like any glitches whatsoever in terms of like skips.
Thank you.
I mean,
that's not a skip, that's intentional.
That is definitely
That's unintentional.
It's a joke. It's a joke.
Get roasted on jokes. We're not joking here. This is serious business.
This is Meme Dream Town, my good sirs.
If this run would be a meme, we would use Memebo. But this is without Memebo. This is no second grab.
Yeah, if this would be
have
Memebo,
the big meme, it still has memes.
if this would be Meembo, I would reckon Harvey wouldn't be here right now, and Zero wouldn't be in chat because they both would be running. I have not even a clue who would be the third person in that lineup in that moment.
I would have done Meembo.
Did Dessa even do Meembo?
Dessa or DDG. Dessa or DDG.
I'm not even sure if
100%.
Dessa did Meembo before, but sure.
He did. He held record for a bit. For like a couple days.
Alright.
But then I was like, nah fam, I got you.
Totally grind it. Also, Gertie, best girl, always giving us the Chocobo.
I'm actually interested to see if they will grab a Chocobo here.
Yeah,
why not?
That's a did, yeah.
Why not?
Money management. That's not it, okay. Yeah, because there actually used to be a time, long time ago, about a year and a half ago, before the relay last year, where we actually had a grinding segment here, where between here and the next boss for Team Mark and for Team Choco and Tonberry, where we would kill everything between here and the next boss to get up to level 25. Just to make the last bit easier on us, but then we just discovered at some point, hey, we can just use bubble modes, grind a few of them out, and then just use those so we can survive easier. And yes, Jerryson, I am so bad with things today. They are using the X4 speed available in TZA. That's why they're zooming so far.
This is what we call yeet! This is why we're yeeting. It's 4 times speed was allowed because I think we already covered it, but it's because it was already a thing on IZJS, which is what this version's based off of.
Yeah.
And so
it's mapped to one of the main buttons used in a game.
Yeah, it would be really kind of crappy. You're sitting there and all of a sudden, oops, I hit L1, I gotta reset. So.
Definitely didn't happen like a million times to me in FF10 before.
Yeah, that one.
Also, yeah, welcome.
I personally find it just funny that speed up is a thing because it's a different type of movement skill. You know, because a lot of movement skills that do happen are you want to get all the precise little angles and stuff, but then in this game, or this version of the game, it's like, how well can I handle a car on ice, you know?
Yep. I mean, just
how it is.
Just funnily enough, just to give an example, with earlier when we were at the Leviathan with the step count. The funny thing is, like, the movement is so weird sometimes that I've seen people who were at that fight where we used the Traveler for the first time, at the Judges fight in the middle of the Leviathan, and had 1,000 steps on the step counter more than I had, even though they were, like, half a minute in front of me, where I was just wondering, how do you sliver so much, still being faster, and actually get her up like 1,000 extra steps? Like, how was that even possible? I still have no real explanation for that, but at this point I just accepted that it was a thing.
There's actually one thing we forgot to cover. One big thing. And I think it perfectly fits together with the speed up thing. Because in a lot of other FF speedruns, they call those boosters. FF12 has boosters, but the speed up is not considered one of them. On PC, for FF12, you do have a booster in the config menu. If you go to the very bottom to the config menu in the FF12 PC, you have the boosters Get Max LP and Get Max Skill. Those are not allowed in the run. However, those do exist. If you have the PC version of FF12, you can go into the config menu right now to the very bottom, and you will see those two things right then and there to get. Those are boosters. And I think it's good that they're buried this far, because you can't accidentally, like, activate them.
Oops, I accidentally fell on my controller and activated Max LP.
Reset.
Ooh.
Oops.
Ooh. Ooh, nasty start for Team Tonberry on the Ahriman fight here. Very nasty start. And he didn't have he didn't have Boss Gambit
Woadyb.
on.
Woadyb, sir. What are you doing?
He didn't have Bosch Gambits on, so actually Penelo was immediately killed and no one revived her.
And that's Ahriman for Team Choco. Let's go.
Let's check. Oh, actually just checking that Dessa using a float mode.
Where
Dessa
the heck do you guys get Sash in this?
from the Mughals.
Quasimodo boots at Mughal Gate.
Really?
Nah.
You get it from the Quasimodo boots?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah,
Also-
stuff is different in this game. Well, TCA.
I just want to mention real quick, I just saw when Dessa used his float mode that he actually got 6 of them.
Wow.
He got 6
13 float boats. 13 float boats.
Which again,
One person's gonna understand this reference.
which again, I just want to say, float boats are the rarest drop we can have, and we don't really have a use for more than 3 of them. We have like 3 certain situations where we want to say, yeah, it's nice to use, here it's nice to use, here it's very nice to use, so that's mostly the priority one.
So you get it in Ahriman Hallway and Hashmill. Where's the other one?
When you traverse through Feywood to Buramiseg.
Because there's a trap right at the beginning that can absolutely destroy you if it wants to.
Yep.
Right. I completely forgot about that.
That is fine. I mean, no one likes to remember bad things, so remembering a trap that just usually costs you like 20-30 seconds to recover from.
I have had the hallway after Ahriman, which is the ghost boss that they're fighting, is a very Monka-esque hallway. I have seen more runs die in that hallway than to Ahriman personally, because
I don't think that's entirely true. I mean, if you've seen more runs die there, then
I'm saying I have seen more of it because when I joined in a more quote-unquote dead period of the game, and so my knowledge in watching people die to Ahriman, it happened, but it wasn't a lot. I've seen people forget to float more. And
or not having one.
Right into that first.
That
also happens more often, not having one, or only having one. And if you only have one, you use it for Hashmal.
That is the good thing, at least for TZA, though. That is another good thing for TZA, though, because at this point in TZA, most often we still have a bangle, which gives us the analysis buff if equipped on a party member, which allows us to see traps. So we actually have the option, in case we want to go safe, to just get only one character in a party, equip the bangle on that, and then actually effectively dodge the traps. Because if you can see them, and if you only have one party member, so the other 2 aren't wiggling around behind you, accidentally stepping into every trap, it is actually quite easy to dodge everything, given that you can see them.
In 1.2.2.3.3.3, which is the low-level game version of this of a run, you can, I think on the PS2 version, you don't even have Libra or anything like that. You just hug one side of the wall until like late, and then you immediately cut over to the other side, and you avoid them. But you have to remember to do that because we don't farm jellies in that category, so.
Okay, and here's probably my favorite change in
everyone's favorite. Everyone's favorite.
Chops went from 9 chops that we need to get from the PS2 version down to 3. And this is a little mini game where you have to talk to different people and swap information between them. And
basically memory.
If you get 2 correct people and you're able to get the message across to someone else who really needs the message, you will get what's called a Pinewood Chop. And in the original version, you needed 9 of these, and those were absolute asinine to get in casual playthroughs. I remember when I played this casually, and it took ages for me to get those, and I remember just putting down the game and not continuing to play for a while because I could not bear to get those 9 pyro jobs. And I think they took
like
that
2
to
days
heart,
the first
and
time,
they took that to heart in TZA and said, okay, we're gonna lower the requirement to 3, which is a lot better. Because if you're new to this game, you probably have no idea what to do.
You will see all runners do this minigame in less than a minute. If the NPCs are positioned correctly.
Well, then there's the other thing where you can, even in the original PS2 version, you can just buy them, but it's like a really roundabout way that you could buy them. It's not easy.
You can buy them, but it's annoying as you have to talk to a person twice, then you're only allowed to buy 1 at a time, and then every single one costs 20,000. It's very annoying.
I thought it was 40. Whatever.
No,
whatever
it's 20. It's 20k. It's 20k per.
Yeah, it's a lot, you know. And but of course, you're not gonna know that in your casual playthrough. But it was there in case you got angry enough and decided to go talk to the same guy twice in a row and select the exact right thing. But you could do it. So I think, in my mind, I think the devs did that so they just didn't have to do chops.
I wanted to say, Woadyb, don't forget the flame staff.
Also,
you can't hear us, buddy, but...
Also, do not forget to take off the flame staff after 2 rounds. That's a very bad thing if you keep it on for more than 2 rounds, because it happened to me before more than once. Because if you keep the flames... So, to actually talk about what I just mentioned here, in the next boss, the Sid 1, Sid 1, what you start with on the boss is using Faraga with Ash, and you cast Faraga twice. Why exactly twice, and why not like 3 times? So the reason is, after you cast Faraga twice, the extra enemies around Sid, called the Rooks, start using Reflect, and he has 4 or 5 of them. And if you use Faraga on all enemies, and you have 4 or 5 enemies that reflect Faraga onto one of your characters, you're gonna die. You're gonna die.
Not even a question.
Reflect in this game is the most busted spell.
That's something that DDG
if you know
can
how
talk
to use
about.
it.
That is also a thing DDG can sing a song of because it's the main damage strat in the original release.
I mean, of course, Harvey knows PS2 so well as well, but yeah, Reflect is reflecting spells causes the game to cast it multiple times, basically, or it gives you the power of casting it multiple times. And so, thank God that we don't have to do that in TZA, and it's a much more melee route than a magic route. Magic is a lot harder to work with in this.
I actually tried routing magic route, but in the end, I have to say I'm just too lazy to try to make a better magic route, because melee just seems so much faster for TZA because of 4x speed. Because you have to go to 1x speed so many times on magic route to make it even viable in the first place. Because it's just so difficult. Like it's actually real. Like magic route in TZA is actually really difficult.
Well, yeah. Well, and so that brings us to another thing. TZA can actually be much more difficult for bosses in general because we have elevator troll.
Elevator troll.
The reason why some parts of TZA can be so much worse is that there's this thing called effect queue, and
effect
it's
capacity,
the size on TZA, so more things can go on at the same time.
So explain really quick what the effect capacity is. The effect capacity is the capacity of how much effects can be displayed in the game at the same time. So what do I mean with effects in this case? Every single move in FF12 has a certain effect value that you cannot see. You can only, quote-unquote, figure it out by using it. So it's not something you see as a player, but you can only notice it while in use. And those effect numbers range from 1 on something like a potion, all the way up to 8 on the spell Scathe or Holy. So in the original, you have 8 effect values that can be shown at the same time, which means you have an effect capacity of 8 in the original. However, in TCA, it's 24, meaning if you ever had the wish to have 3 characters at the same time, use Scathe and reflect that, you deal a ton of damage.
Yeah, you could totally use 3 Scathes or an Ardor, a Holy, and a Scathe, or a Flare. You know, it's crazy. You're not even gonna drop any frames when doing it.
The main reason why this cap even exists, it's not confirmed or anything, but why we think the cap exists is to prevent lag/slowdowns in the game. Because the PS2
stopped the PS2 from crashing originally.
I don't know about the crashing part, but I know it's definitely needed for the PS2 because the PS2 is already at its limit with FF12. So
yeah, that's that. Took the PS2 and so this game, I have no idea why they didn't delay it 1 year and put it on PS3 because it came out 4 months before the PS3 came out or something close to that.
I mean, it held the world record for the longest game in development for a long time, and then 15 happened.
Yeah. It's incredible how much stuff is really... you can look at it, if you look at a PS2 run before you see a TZA run, and then you look at a TZA run, like, yeah, the difference is stark. But, man, looking at 12 on PS2, you think you're watching a PS3 game. It is incredible what they were able to push.
I mean, if you look at TCA, you don't think it's a PS2 game remastered. You think it's a current gen game,
right? And then you look at PS2 version and you think it's like a really early PS3 game, which kinda was, but it was on the wrong system.
I mean, there are early PS3 games that look worse than 12.
That's not difficult. PS3 didn't have that great of an art style, in my opinion, but in general, I think PS2 had a better art scheme overall, along with PS4 is also better.
Okay, Sid is gone on Dessa's part. Woadyb about to start the fight, and he also realized to change the flame stuff out. That's really good, and we're in good territory with.
I don't know about you, but I saw Reflect already landed and he casted fire again, and he got the menu up. So yeah, that was very scary.
I mean, he can't.
Woadyb outkilled himself.
It's okay when they cast Reflect. All that matters is they cannot have the status Reflect before it says Faraga in action. Because the game checks whenever a move is in action. And if Reflect happens before the inaction happened, then you get reflected. However, if
it happens after Reflect,
but inaction happens before Reflect lands on the character, then it does not get reflected because the Reflect did not apply to the Rook before the Faraga went into inaction. It sounds complicated, but it's actually relatively simple if you break it down.
Right. So, it's kind of crazy to me watching Tomahawk go off on Sid. We skipped that on PS2, but Sid 1, you don't even have to get his health all the way down. You only have to get him to under a quarter health, and then the fight ends. Spoilers, he'll be back. That's pretty nice. And now they're in Dessa and Woadyb
coming up on Rafflesia. Oh, yeah, Dessa's taking a path I've never seen before. What kind of pathing is that? I've never seen that pathing before. Or, well, I did, but that was like forever ago. I haven't seen that pathing in a long time.
RNG manip, don't worry.
Just a slight question to you two guys. Do you have music from one of the runners on?
No.
No.
Could one of you just turn up your volume for Woadyb and tell me if it's just me that the music is kind of fricked right now?
Oh my god, yeah. Oh my lord.
Oh.
Good to know.
Yeah, that's not good.
Good to know it's not just me. I was just,
Jesus.
I just was wondering if that was on my end or not.
Okay, that's good to know. Oh boy.
It's fine. Music is on Team Choco, so just staff. Don't change the music over to Team Tonberry. It does not sound nice right now.
Or well, at least while Woady's running, because he might have tech issues. Oh, and yeah, that's Rafflesia, by the way. It just happened. We didn't even talk about the fight because, yeah, that's Rafflesia. Like you don't need to explain.
Yeah, well.
It's there. It's there.
Wait a
Okay,
second.
so
wait a
here's a
second.
fun fact about Rafflesia. Just because it went by so fast, if you open up the bestiary and you go check Rafflesia, it's listed as an aggressive vegetable. There you go. Here's your fun
Just say,
fact.
who are you talking about? I don't think I actually don't remember that name. Who's that supposed to be? Do I have to remember that name? Is that anyone important?
What?
Rafflesia. I don't think I've heard that name before. Who is that?
Rafflesia? It's the vegetable.
Wait, that thing is a boss? That thing has a name?
Oh yeah, I guess.
There are 2 bosses in this run where I can make this joke. I've missed my first opportunity. Let's not waste a second.
And
You
Lena
actually
also
debated
on her
me
way to
a little bit.
defeat Sid.
I don't know
Also
if I like
nice.
you anymore. You debated me. Sorry, didn't mean to interrupt you, Harvey.
It's fine.
Oh, and another thing that got changed is on TZA, summons are no longer tied to your MP, right? That's not a thing anymore, is it?
Yep, they switched quickening to be a separate bar that's not tied to your MP anymore.
So, me watching summons happen is very, very different and interesting. Because I'm sitting here going, oh my gosh, how are you summoning you, or whatever. You don't even have full MP, man.
Oh yeah, by the way, rejoice, as this is the only time we summon, and they removed the cool summon animation, so it's basically just screen goes black, guy shows up, screen goes black, guy is gone.
Now, if you want something really funny, summon Velias or any Esper, and go somewhere like Johara without dismissing your Esper, and then go talk to Gertie and try to rent a Chocobo. It's actually funny, because Gertie will be like, I think you have to put your friend away, Kupo. You know, this giant beast.
Alright,
willing
so...
to sell you a Chocobo.
Well, it makes sense. So, Dessa right now prepping for Daedalus, the first of the more annoying bosses that could have been made way easier with Karkada. Luckily, recently we found out that we basically overfought this boss for a while. So by now it's free, by now we don't have any issues with it anymore, but there was a time where this fight actually was scary. Like, really scary.
Yeah, it's still somewhat, like, it can be somewhat scary at times. It's
So
not
is it-
100% free. It's still
It's
somewhat.
not 100% free, but usually it's a very low chance if you position yourself correctly.
Do you not use Holy Melt anymore on this? I remember that
Nope.
being a thing for a while.
Nope.
You don't. We used to, but we don't. Oh wow, skipping rage. Actually,
Wow.
at Ice Break, that was fast. That was really good.
As I said, we grab a domain Calvados that is lying around in
Rafflesia.
Rafflesia's boss arena, which gives us the courage buff, or in English, bravery. Which
Bravery
boosts.
gives you a 30% damage boost.
Yeah, we put that on Bosch. We put Ash in the back row so she can't further in the back, so she won't take any damage by the attacks. And by the way, you were saying social distance warping. Say hello to social distance warping on Dessa's end right now for Team Choco.
Yeah, it's social distance warping mainly because you keep people far away from each other, and you're using a cure. Or some healing, typically, when you're doing it. It's just a humorous little name that we gave it. Or
Yes.
I think it was either Harvey or Roosta gave it the
Rooster
nickname
gave
of
it social distance warp. But we came up with, I think, a better name called Too Far Warp, because Social Distance Warp was a little bit, we felt it felt a little bit, what you would call it, out of place, a little bit.
Dessa, don't give me a heart attack. Oh my lord, that was close. He went the wrong way, ended the warping early to just run past everything on 1 HP on basically everything on anyone. That could have ended.
Why is he not leading with Bosch, I wonder? Bosch legit has more HP than Ash.
Usually,
Okay.
usually the warping, and because he starts out with Berserk, and so at that point you
can warp. Oh no! Oh no! Okay, that's painful. I don't think I've ever seen that happen before in a race.
I've done that. I've done that.
I've never seen that happen before in a race. Oh my god, Lena.
The annoying thing with the warping is the moment you switch to another character, basically the camera angle stays. So you can't simply just keep on walking up in between the switching, but depending on which direction you're looking, that can have fatal errors like just seen with Dessa, who just walked through half the area and then accidentally left the area again.
Okay, Woadyb just got raged on Daedalus, but he somehow survived. Oh my lord. Usually you just absolutely get decimated by rage, but looks like Woadyb survived, which is awesome to see. But usually just get absolutely destroyed by that attack. Okay. But Dessa getting up to Tyrant, one of the scariest bosses. Just because of how annoying he is.
It is most annoying. We have a strategy by now that is fairly safe. As long as he doesn't annoy us too much at the start, we can get into a rhythm where he is not very annoying anymore, but still can go very quickly very wrong, especially if you just are like 1 meter too close with Penelo to the boss. That can already make a huge impact and can end the run, basically. Or, well, send you back to the last autosave.
Alright, I'm back. Did I miss anything good?
Woadyb got raged on Daedalus, but he survived.
Nice.
And Lena seems to have a little bit of trouble with Reflasia. Don't know if something happened with menus or something.
Yeah.
Some of her menus is not working out.
I don't know if Tyrant is as big of a deal on TZA, or if it's still the same, but
he can be sketchy.
We just talked about it.
He still has that 5% on-hit death, right?
No, I don't think so. He mainly is just spamming AoE attacks with high potency, like Fandagas, like piercing Gravigas, which makes him a little bit annoying, but as long as he doesn't open too annoyingly, we can have enough distance between the characters, so...
I just remember, like, there was a time where, during 1-2-2-2-3, we used to, do this stop plus reverse strat, and it was all cool, but then there was still, like, a 5% chance, of him just hitting you once and just instant killing you because he has unhit death in that version. I don't know if it's the same.
Dessa is now in everyone's favorite place in the entire game, the Great Crystal. If you played this game back in 07, 08, or whenever, you probably had a guide going through here. Because I know a lot of people who said they just got lost for hours in this place.
2.5 weeks for me. I got lost in the deep heart of Crystal, casually. Because I was I
have no idea what's going on over there for Luna.
What is Woadyb doing?
What is Luna doing? I think he was short like 2 or 3 LP or maybe something like that.
Bubble Belt, probably.
Probably. Yeah, he's now on 81. He
yes,
just
Bubble Belt.
Yep.
This is it on Interesting.
And Luna actually having trouble on Reflector. I saw the start of why, but I would also say that her damage is looking extremely low. I saw that she went into the arena too early before haste actually was applied to Ash, which already is a huge damage down if she isn't hasted for that fight, but just the damage numbers looked so little. Could it be that she forgot to buy the Yakai?
Well, she actually got it, so that's a big plus. She actually got through it.
No, she has
got
the
Yakai. She got Yakai. Also,
yeah,
am I like the
probably
only
was just
one?
a haste.
Am I like the only one who's not killing anything in Feywood? I just run through everything. I don't see a reason why you should grind here.
The few extra experience might end up in one level extra at the end, which can make a teeny dent, but usually it's just for safety, I want to say. Because, you know, standing around slowly, or maybe money issues for some people as well. If they know we still need a little bit of money, the insect husks you get from the mantises here sell for also quite a bit of money.
Aren't you supposed to have already enough money, or...
I mean, in the end, your main money comes from the jelly grind, and due to the jelly grind, sometimes it can be a little bit short.
I mean, the only thing left now is the wind katana.
Oh, was the battle speed slow before? I think Luna actually forgot to turn the battle speed up for Reflector, which would make sense. That would complicate things.
Oh yeah.
Alright, get ready for on-hit disease from Shimazai. Let's go. Sorry.
Okay,
Wait,
Shemazai is an absolute pain if silence happens, for instance. And Shemazai can use Flare and Shock. And Flare and Shock can instant kill or one-shot Penelo. Barsh can, like, I think, barely survive it. Yeah, Barsh can barely survive it with, like, 40 HP. Ash would also die. But thanks to getting a bubble mode on Ash, she also doesn't get one-shotted by getting hit with Flare or Shock. Also running in circles with Penelo to conserve UP, because this is a heavy mist zone, and in heavy mist zones you regain MP faster when you walk around.
Also,
really
another very, very annoying thing that Shemazai can do is Disease, which you can see right now on Ash, which will reduce your max HP to your current HP. Which means if you take damage, your max HP shrinks to what you have at that point.
Yeah.
Effectively meaning you can never heal, and in case you die, it just drops to 1, and even if you revive, you'll just be revived at 1. Which can be very annoying, especially can be annoying because you only get to buy the healing items for that status effect right now after this boss. Only now unlocks the healing items for this.
Well, could you not go to Baffleheim if you got the Chocobo and go buy vaccines or whatever they are in this one?
They only start selling after you beat Shemazai.
Wow. That's messed up. And I think Disease is just so brutal because it hits you out of nowhere, you know. And then all of a sudden you have Disease, and then you know, the damage comes out of your max HP, not out of your current HP, and that sucks.
My heart dropped for a second because I looked on Dessel's stream and I thought, oh my god, Tonberry is already done with Shemazai and I missed that. Oh god, I'm a terrible splitter. Oh boy, but yeah, no, Woady's on his way. Woady's on his way to greatness, to absolutely decimate Shemazai.
Yep.
And we'll all be there when he does it.
I believe in you, Luna. You can do it. You can beat Daedalus. And GaraVegan is a, you know, casually speaking, horrifyingly brutal. But in a speedrun, it's probably my favorite. Because you just walk in and you just backhand everything so hard, so quickly.
Also, can we just mention that effectively, with the end of GaraVegan, Dessa just finished, Woadyb is about to finish, and Lena just started the second to last dungeon of the game. Because I personally don't count Bahamut as a dungeon. This is just the location of the final battles.
Bahamut is literally just the last bosses.
Yep.
I don't count it as a dungeon either. Because it...
think of the Bahamut as a setting rather than a dungeon.
Yep.
Yeah, same.
It's no puzzles,
it's great.
no
It's two, like the entire Bahamut is 2 screens.
Technically
3 or
4.
4 if you count the elevator and where you fight Vayne.
Technically
and
4, yeah.
you literally, you walk in, boss rush starts. There you go.
Yep.
That's the whole thing. Like,
So
not a
just,
dungeon.
just for that to say, we still have the longest dungeon, and in my opinion, my favorite dungeon of the game, because I just love the pharaohs, I love the idea, I love the puzzles, I love everything
We
about
can't
it.
be friends anymore.
A tower on distant shores.
Yes.
I forgot the rest of the quotes, but Level 12 has amazing quotes. Just
I
a little
cannot
pluck.
stand Pharos anymore, and that's mainly because Yasmat.
Fair. I just say,
Why you're just DCGing.
I don't see. Then again, you have to also remember, Yasmat is the Ridorana Kadarakt. I'm talking about the pharaohs of Ridorana. Just the tower, not Subterran, only the way up.
Well, Subterra is still part of Pharos. It's still part of the tower. Like,
Yeah, but
Shadowseer is
It's
still
just
in the Pharos.
cellar.
Like,
yeah, but I don't like it, so I don't count it.
I don't like. I don't know. I don't like my face. Should I just not count my face? Sure.
I mean, denial is the first step to happiness. Wasn't that something like that? Please
I
don't
think
take this
ignorance
seriously.
was bliss was the better one.
All right, Dessa 14 Choco coming up to the next of the scary bosses, Hydros.
Tesla 14, it's Tesla 35, I thought.
I just said Dessa is coming up.
Anyway.
Dessa 14, I said. 14
Oh.
Choco. Not Dessa.
I was like, Tesla 14, what?
It's fine.
Never changed his name.
It's
It was always
fine.
Tesla 35.
It's fine.
all been lying to
Let's
you,
name
Harvey.
talk more Hydros. Hydros we set up with a lot of buffs, which can become very quickly very bad, because he has a lot of things that can go wrong. He has many status effects that are annoying. He has a spell that completely... Yep, there we are. Son. He has a spell that completely depletes the MP of everyone in the area, which is...
Here.
Am I jinxing Dessa right now? Just by explaining it? Wow. Just on cue. Just on cue. But we have elixirs. That's why we have elixirs.
I've
Guys,
actually been trying to...
elixirs in this category. What the heck?
I've actually been trying to figure out a strat to use Reflector mode so curse won't happen, or is less likely to happen. I did it once, but it caused me to, well, die at the very start of the fight because I couldn't heal anyone. But if I could at least make it on one character to make it less likely or basically not likely for this to happen, that would be a breakthrough, because this fight is an absolute pain. So if we can find a way to make Hydro a little bit less of a pain, that would be nice.
At
And
this
the idea
point,
is
That
to-
Hydro is a dragon that targets based off sight. No, it's a skeleton dragon that has no eyes that targets on sight. It's great.
The thing also is that Hydros basically is a coin flip. If Hydros has a bad day, he can just say no and basically be a wall that you can't overcome by just using Firaga a couple times till you not have any elixirs left, no MP anymore, can't heal, and then just wipes you out. He can just do that if he feels like it. He doesn't do very often, luckily, but he can do that.
Oh, whoa! I didn't know that. In TZA, they changed the black orb drops. I didn't know that.
Yes,
Yep.
you get a drop
Guaranteed
now every
on
single
everything.
kill instead of every third kill.
Yeah, that's
Same
okay, that's
same
way
goes for
different.
Subterra. Same goes for Subterra.
Oh my god, Subterra must be so nice. so
No,
fun.
you still do the same thing, because picking up every single black orb is slower than just filling up the like the big orbs and then just getting all at once. Because otherwise you would always get the small cutscene of getting a black orb and then getting that every single time, instead of just getting the big one.
The massive orb, once an orb joins, it counts as 3 or something?
That's in the original, not in TCA, because you have, I mean, every single kill gives you an orb, right? Which turns out to be three 3 black orbs. So if you get every third kill, if you get a new black orb, that's like if you would triple your black orbs you would get in a.
The massive ones do still
ball.
exist though. The massive ones do exist though and
That's
still
the
give you.
reason why I'm asking about the massive orb. I wasn't sure.
I'm not sure how they
Same.
work because I never used them in TCA, but they do still exist. They do still float around. And ooh, very bad opening for Woadyb.
Oh my god. Oh my lord.
Basically the worst opening possible.
Yeah, Curse is like the one
God.
thing you do not want to see, like, ever.
Especially immediately followed by Firaga. Because you might be able to do some damage
Is
control.
Awesome that way. Panda going pretty nice for.
Yeah, Panda going really fast. So, as you might have noticed, at like 50% HP, Panda casted something called Perfect Defense. And now something extremely special to only a couple of fights in the game. And those couple of fights are, I think, Panda and Behemoth King. And maybe Fafnir. If you cast twice a Rise on them, the Perfect Defense will for some reason run out. To this day, I do not understand
Not
why,
quite anymore.
but
in
it
TCA.
works, and I think it's cool. I mean, who doesn't want to get rid of Perfect Defense like immediately?
Yeah, in TCA it doesn't work quite that way. Perfect Defense being a skill basically that makes him immune for like 30 seconds to a minute against everything. In TCA it doesn't work quite as well. In TCA, at least for Panda, you have a certain percentage chance that if you cast a Rise on it, it will drop. It can be on the first cast, it can be on the second, it can be that you cast it 4th time, the barrier doesn't drop, you run out of MP and then have to wait anyway.
That's gross.
It is.
Okay, Team Mog on the way to Shemazai, and then
Just-
everyone is in the final split for the game.
Yeah, just wanted to point that out to you so you don't miss a split again.
I never miss a split. I never
Imagine
miss.
missing split.
I never.
Wouldn't be me. Would not be me. Would not be me.
Meanwhile,
Yeah, and you
Dessa.
don't have spelling errors either, Harvey.
Meanwhile, Dessa for Team Choco right now in the second part of Pharaohs, where he has to build bridges by killing these weird-looking green head thingies. For everyone he kills, they are called brain pants. For everyone he kills, a little bridge segment will spawn. Once every bridge segment is spawned, he can actually cross it. There will also be some red ones in a little bit that if he kills them will either create a red block on a red lane, or if a green block is already set, remove one green block from the bridge.
Did anyone pay attention? Did Dessa get the dragon helmet?
Yes.
I didn't pay attention.
Yes, you did.
I didn't watch. I
So-
didn't even know that he was going for a dragon helmet.
Yeah,
Yeah, no, we
because
do go for
Bosch
an
is
armor
actually
upgrade.
using some inferior equipment right now, and what we do is we actually get the dragon helmet slash the dragon armor or dragon mail in Pharaohs because it does boost the defense and the offensive Bosch a lot. And
Well,
the helmet-
you just want to deal more damage, like in a
The
melee run. You just want to deal more damage, right?
The helmet
Makes sense.
generally is something we always got, since it's literally sitting next to an enemy that we have to kill anyways. The armor is about a 15-20 seconds detour, but recently we switched that we by now buy armor a little bit earlier, which is a little bit weaker, therefore cheaper also though. But that armor is not able to carry us through the late game, so by now we also do the detour to grab the Dragon Mail. In the end, it is extra power, it is a little bit of extra damage, a bit of extra safety. I'm generally still not happy with that route change, because since we swapped the armors, I have always had massive troubles in Pharaohs. Have not been able to PvP since that route change.
12 is a give and take thing where you can go quicker, but you are in for a world of pain when you want to go quicker in this game.
Yes.
It's not easy. I encourage people to look into this game and start running it. It is so fun. But man, you better be a masochist. You better be ready for some pain. It's a gut check to run this game regularly.
It is a lot of fun though as well, if you can get behind it.
Oh, and Tesla now setting up the too far warp again, because there are a couple of Dadars that we want to get rid of.
Which are the red hat
He seems to have gotten them successfully. Hell yeah, Dean spawned them successfely.
Usually we want to also despawn that, because usually in that specific part where Desert just was, there spawn 2 brain pans and a data, which are 2 of the green hats, 1 of the red hats, and all 3 of those combined will attack us, which will deal massive damage to us, which we actually at this point aren't able to survive. We used to be, but that was a point when we actually had an extra grinding segment and would go in this area 5 levels higher.
Oh my god. Oh lord. Oh, ooh, that was close. I don't know if Tessa has a gold needle.
Don't think so. I don't think so, because else Redis would have thrown them.
Oh, that's bad. Oh no.
Yeah, that's a reset.
Oh, that's a big time loss. Oh,
that is brutal.
That's painful.
Brutal.
Oh my god.
Yeah,
Redis used all the gold needles.
And that is why I buy extra gold needles in my run by now.
Oh, that's a big setback. Oh, that's a huge setback. That's several minutes.
That's
several minutes.
At least 1, if not 2.
Luckily, it's right at the, it's on the same area. Luckily, so it's not god awful, but it's not.
It's not great either.
It's not good.
It is pretty bad though, because if it would have happened at the start, he wouldn't have lost so much time. It actually happened closer to the end of this zone than closer to the beginning.
It happened right before the round where we start grinding them.
Yeah.
And Penel's MP are also super low.
What happened?
Team Choco had to reset. Team Choco had to reset. Yeah.
He had to load an autosave because
he needed to reload.
Yeah.
Sorry,
our main damage dealer got petrified and therefore removed from the battle. We didn't have any gold needles left to actually get him out of that state, because once the character is stoned, the only thing you can do is use the gold needle to get him out.
Or a save crystal or something, but there's none near us.
Yeah, and we are literally at the grinding spot of this area where we have to kill like 10 of these head thingies. So doing that without your main damage dealer would have been way too painful, so it was definitely the right call here to go and reset.
Uh-oh. Red us. Get rid of that petrify. Okay. At least he died. As dumb as it may sound, but at least he died.
I mean,
you would rather have a character die. You would rather have a character die than being in stone, because you cannot revive him without gold needle.
So it's really funny for me because we're watching this and we're wanting them to cure petrify, but then when I run this game, I like petrifying my characters because it actually sets up stuff for me. It just shows how much variation and strategies there are, because PS2 80% will do.
No, not in any percent. Any percent does not need petrify anymore. That's history.
No. What I was gonna say was that in any percent PS2, it's magic based. On TZA, it's melee based. On OOA, it's a combo plus glitches. There's just, and then on 1, 2, 2, 3, 3, 3, it's a glitch fest and gun. Like, there's just so much you can do in this game. It's so awesome. The mechanics of this game are so deep that this may be my second favorite game, but 12 has the best fighting system in my opinion. It is so in depth.
And while we were talking, LenaleeLuna actually got destroyed by Hydro as well. So that is.
Hydro is not nice to any of the runners today.
Yeah,
not at all.
Dessa at least managed to get out without the reset. Woadyb had to reset at least once, I think even twice, and Lena as well right now with 1 reset. That is just how Hydro goes sometimes. It isn't that at that point simple RNG that you can't really influence. It is just hope and hope.
It's so weird watching you guys control right off. Oh my gosh, it's so weird. You can't control guests in the original.
I thought you played TCA. I thought you played TCA before.
Yeah, but
he doesn't have TZA, but it was Titangrad, so you just walk in and go pew pew and leave. Like that's all there was. Hydro is not a homie. Hydro is a no-me.
I mean, it is all that if you want to be it all that. Titangrad can be, you know, a little bit more complicated, but I'm not getting into that.
Oh, it can be, I'm not going
let's put it this way. Meme bows is meme bow, and we don't want that kind of meme.
No, okay, so let's talk about something really interesting here. Dessa is at this part where you have to sacrifice one of 4 things, and it's either your map, I think attack, items, or spells, I think?
I thought it was techniques as well. I think it was 5?
No, there were 4, there were 4.
Whatever
I don't remember exactly, but it was it definitely one of them was the map, and I mean, we're speedrunners, we know where the heck we have to go, do we?
Not just that.
Not only is the map path actually the quickest, but since we're speedrunners and we actually know where we go, we can just get rid of our map anyway.
Not actually even that. In TZA, they introduced a new thing called, what I personally like to call the Medi-map, where you can just press a button and make another map appear that's a little bit bigger, a little bit more detailed than the mini-map. And as you can see on Dessa's screen right now for Team Choco, that map didn't get disabled with that ability. I don't know why, but that's the thing. Really, is we get rid of the map, but we still have the map.
Before someone gets lost, you can't get lost.
Oh god, how many runs I've seen die here because people did not know where to go. That taught me that I had to get this pathing for a second ascent. I need to get that burn into my brain.
Also on this screen, knock knock, who's there? Not this wall, because it's a fool's wall.
There's no Avenger. No Avenger? Yeah,
no,
but we don't have the rare game thingy, the trophy hunts.
I was gonna say, there's no Avenger because we're not going for trophies.
Yeah.
I mean, even if he is still only just a chance to spawn, not guaranteed, right?
40% or something. So.
Also, hey, we're grilling fish on Woady's screen right now, and the fish is grilled. Who wants some grilled fish? Alright, so, Dessa about to get to Fenrir. Woadyb just finished. Ooh, Undyne. That floating orb of water that you could see on Team Tonberry's screen there is highly, highly dangerous. Has a fairly low spawn rate, but can really mess you up if it shows up in the wrong position. Luckily for Woadyb, it showed up in a very good position. He didn't even get attacked once, he didn't get status affected once. Everything perfect.
Yeah, N-Tights, I think like the lowest level N-Tight is like in its 30s, I think.
Weren't they all 45?
And our characters here are like level 25?
23 to 25, yeah.
And that's Fenrir on Dessa. On Team Choco.
Incredible.
Fenrir the furry.
Yeah, you walk in, you see a big cat, and you're like, I'm gonna disable you, and he's like, bravery! That's great.
Now he's first gonna scream at you, or wail in this case.
Yep. Which actually had a very funny strat in one of the earlier versions of this route, where we were to just buff up our characters, put them all on the bench, and then just get out one of the first 3 characters that we didn't use since Belias, and then just have them getting absolutely wailed. See what I did there? Ooh, and an Undyne for Dessa as well. Get absolutely wailed, and then get the other characters in to take care of him. So that's 2 Undynes, actually. Interesting. Undyne has 2 different spawn locations it can show up.
How fun when it shows up in both in OLA. That's great.
I mean, in Pharaohs it has 2 spawn locations.
Yes.
I don't know if it has more than 2 in
think that's any.
But it actually has 3 spawn locations overall. It also appears in Zerobi Steppe, which is a place we do not visit in this run. Because it's
Is it only in the one zone
Right,
in
that
Zerobi,
zone
or
makes
is there
sense.
more than one?
I think it's more than one. I think it can be in any zone where there is rain, which is not the first one, or where Viral is, I think. And
So,
where
yeah.
telekinesis is. So that's like 2 zones.
Okay, so quick called up again. Lena is on the second phase, killing brain pans to create bridges. Woadyb just finished the ceiling part, is about to fight Fenrir, and Dessa for Team Choco is on the final part, where he's going to pick on the teleporter riddle, where he has to choose the right color teleporters to advance. Does a little bit of a secret path to grab up a better armor piece for Ash, and a stronger weapon for Bosch, which will be the Ultima Blade. Which doesn't...
And it's actually quite literally Ultima Blade.
I really
Great.
hope Dessa does not pull Harvey and forgets to equip Ultima Blade for the rest of the run, because that happened to me more times than I like to admit. It happened too often.
The
It
real
happened
question,
too often. It's
the
bad.
real question is he actually going to equip the Amenamur Kumo, or is he gonna forget that? Also, try
I bet
saying
he
that.
gets power.
Also, try saying
Aw.
that 3 times real quick. Amenamur Kumo. This
He didn't
katana
get power.
names.
The run is blessed.
He also doesn't do the zoomed out licensing. I don't know how many people actually do the zoomed out licensing. It's actually
don't know.
only a thing that very few people do, I think.
Yeah.
Okay, bubble on her. Oh,
Yep. Because Bosch has it by default. Penelo does
Right.
shouldn't get damage.
Right. Because Ash, if he wants to counter, Ash can die like way too fast.
Yep. Also, fun fact: if you are on bubble status effect, you can't get disease.
That's still one of the weirdest facts ever, and I still do not know why. It's awesome, but it's still such a weird thing that you cannot
Well,
get disease by bubble.
Probably because you're already messing with max HP stats.
Yeah, but
That
if you
one.
think about, for example, haste and slow, if you cast the one while the other is on, it will remove the one and add the other. Which is like for every status effect.
Unless
there's-
you have Hermes Sandals equipped. If you have Hermes Sandals
Yes.
equipped and
have
Sanguine
both
Shield
on.
equipped, you will have both at the same
Yes,
time.
I was about to say that has happened to me.
But I do wonder, if you have both equipped, does that cancel each other out, or will there still be one that is like better than the other? Let's say like
I think
you will be 50% faster with haste, but you will only be 40% slower with slow.
I think
question.
haste outdoes it, but oh yeah, there's the other part. You're immune to confused if you berserk. That's also a thing.
That no.
No, because I
No.
definitely remember there's a trap in Mihan where the stealth field is that puts both on you.
Mihan, this is
Uh,
not FF10, sir.
Miriam! It sounds close enough.
It's
It
Miriam,
sounds
it's Miriam,
close
Still
enough.
Shrine. Yeah, I was about to say in Still Shrine there is two
Subtly
actually.
trapped, yeah,
In the zone where you can get Shell Shield and Dark Matter, there you have 2 traps, basically back to back, that can give you Berserk Confuse. So, yes, hearing Mihan was a little bit, yeah, out of nowhere.
I've played FF10 too much in the past few weeks.
Okay, so as you can see, on Team Choco, they removed Bosch, a big damage dealer right now. The reason as to why we removed Bosch for the first phase is because if Bosch is in the party during the cutscene, what happens is the cutscene will play longer because there's like an extra scene with with Bosch and Gabranth talking to each other. And that adds like 20 to 40 seconds, I don't know exactly, but it adds a bunch of time. So it's faster to just get Bosch out and hit with Ash until it's over. And then put Bash back in and then do the rest of Gabranth. And that's Gabranth, the first Gabranth fight. Going into Sid 2. Yeah. And can we skip Gatling Gun? And oh yeah, we got Skip Gatling gun. Let's go.
Very nice. Also, in that moment, Zero and GTG just corrected us in chat. Zero saying you can actually get Berserk confused from traps, but not any other way. And DDG actually was about to say that, but we didn't let him. Sorry for that.
What's a girl to do?
Oh my lord, it's raining like crazy outside.
Just as Famford pours down the water on Deza, it starts raining.
Yeah, it's raining real hard. Thanks, Famford.
Like, it's actually pouring out of buckets right now. Or out of a vase, if we talk about Famford terms.
Alright, and also, yeah, just to say, Dessa for Team Choco right now fighting Sid2 and Famfrit, and once this fight is done, Dessa actually will just have a few cutscenes and then move on to the scenery of the final boss rush. So we are about, I'd say, 10, max 15 minutes away for Team Choco to actually finish the run. So just to maybe already get a heads up to next few runners, because it is getting slowly time. I don't even know what game is next anymore.
FF4? No.
I would have to look it up, and luckily there is a command in chat if we type in !schedule.
I typed !schedule and didn't get one. I didn't get one.
I definitely want to say there was one before.
No, it's
a relay.
I remembered that because I was like, yay, my two favorite games back to back.
Is it no cuts? Is it the cutscene skip remover?
It's not cutscene skip remover, but it is no sphere grid.
So we're watching all the cool cutscene.
You're watching 10 hours. Yes, we're watching 6 hours of cutscenes in a 4-hour run.
That sounds like Crisis Core to me. That sounds like Crisis Core to me. Also, way too many cutscenes.
Unskippable cutscenes are good. I will fight for that till I die.
I mean, it depends on the amount of unskippable cutscenes. Having like a couple very cool cutscenes, sure, but as of the case for Final Fantasy X, having a 10-hour speedrun, which is 6 hours of just watching cutscenes and or mindlessly smashing the X button, trying to advance text boxes a few frames earlier.
I mean, there's a reason why FF10 is called a 10-hour movie. Wait, someone said movie. I thought this is a video game. Okay, Dessa, on to the final boss rush. Bahamut, let's go. Oh yeah, in case you haven't noticed yet, past summons in FF12 are actually airships here. So every airship in this game is called after a summon. Some are called. I think one of them at the very start of the game is called Ifrit.
Yep.
There's the Ifrit. There's the Tonberry.
There's the Leviathan. There's the Shiva. When you fight Vossler, you're on the
light
Shiva, and you're now on Bahamut.
Which, thank God, they actually know how to say Bahamut correctly. I know that's a big thing, but Bahamut's correct.
Welcome to the Bahamut. Just quoting Bane from the first lane.
This is just me being me, but Bahamut is a fish, Bahamut's the dragon. Thank you.
I just wanted to quote Vane's first line after coming out of the elevator.
Okay. Woadyb also on Sid2, trying to rid off Famfrit. And Dessa about to fight the second Gabrand fight. And Lena just about to start Fenrir. And that's phase 1 for Gabrand 2. We don't take Bosch out of the battle here. You do lose a bit of time, but it's not worth. taking him out for those couple seconds extra. It is worth for Gabranth 1, but not for Gabranth 2.
Not just for the couple seconds, but also if you take him out here, it is unrecoverable. As you will miss out the damage you need to actually kill him before he takes out you.
Learn to match better, forehead. Sorry. I'm memeing.
Okay, and that's Gabranth 1 gone. And Sid 2 on Woady's side. And Fenrir on Lena's side. Let's go.
Boss is dead within 3 seconds. Let's go.
Wow,
And
we're getting
now
some raiders.
on the final 3 bosses in the game. Let's go.
It is actually, also we just got 2 raids for a total of 128 people. Welcome in, dear raiders. Welcome to the Final Fantasy Relay. Say hello.
He has a chance to PB as well. Oh my.
50 seconds behind going into the Bahamut. I mean, if he gets very lucky, he skips all cut. Maybe.
He can PB it. You know it.
Oh, definitely. The Bahamut fight still can very much happen.
For good and all, I shall bring your
The Bahamut fights can very much still go wrong. So, Vayne 1, generally, the start is just hit him a few times till he starts the cutscene.
All 3 people got an end fight. Sorry to interrupt you. Go. Sorry.
Oh, Lena also got. So we hit him a few times till he does his first cinematic. Then we start buffing up, so we actually have everything we need for the second phase to take it down quickly, because the second phase is the annoying part of this fight. Because Vayne Novus is just annoying to deal with all the ads he spawns, etc. So we just set up here to make quick work of him in the second phase before we then go into the final fight in the third phase, where it's basically just reapply buffs.
Oh no. Oh, he's getting Force of... Yeah, he's getting a Force of Will. Oh, that's horrible.
Force of Will isn't the worst. Force of Will isn't the worst. It is still one of his faster attacks.
Yeah, it's still bad though. It's still bad because you most likely are going to kill Vayne now before you're able to recover 100%.
That is a fair point, yeah.
Which makes Vayne Novus awful.
Never mind.
Awful.
He's full.
Okay, now Vayne Novus, probably the most annoying fight in the entire run because you have a lot of swords around you, and it's just one minefield of things that can go wrong here. You can get immobilized by the swords that are attacking you. You can get comboed to death if Vayne wants you to do so. You can underdamage Vayne Novus if worst comes to worst, and if you underdamage him at certain points in the fight, he can use a move called Tree of Zephyra. And Tree of Zephyra, if you're not prepared, is destroying your entire party. And
the worst part is Tree of Zephyra will most likely in a speedrun setting happen when he only has 1 or 2 hits, when he's 1 or 2 hits away from death. And if you then kill him, with the tree, then kill him, then go into the next fight, you're just going in basically dead, which is just very, very terrible. We have a backup strat for in case that happens that can save the last fight, but it is very, very annoying to deal with.
Okay, for Team Choco, please be ready. Not much longer. Like we're getting into the last part.
Yeah, timing
really soon.
Timing this will actually also be... okay, he skipped it. Timing will be a little bit awkward because the last boss doesn't actually have a health bar. We will know when he's near death because he starts flickering red, but it might be that we'll be a few seconds off. We try our best to focus on here.
Okay, yeah, Team Choco, be ready. Like anytime in the next 30 to 50 seconds. Should be go time, so... be ready whenever. It's like very, very soon. Because this fight can go really fast or really wrong. And I really hope it's going really fast.
Shouldn't take more than a minute.
And it might look like it's going really fast this time.
Oh, it's going incredibly fast, yes.
When the setup is done correctly, he's mostly down in less than a minute. Safe. Magic barrier.
Come on. Yes, holy mode. Do it with holy mode. Wait, he just did for holy mode. That's a little bit sketchy. Not having a holy mode there is a bit sketchy. Okay.
Ascension.
Okay, Team Choco, be ready. This should be like a couple seconds now.
Either he's dead now or he kills in the next 2 seconds. Ish.
That's time for Team Choco. Let's go, Team Choco! Damn! Let's go, Dessa! GG, Dessa. Let's go, Team Choco. There we go. Let's go, Team Choco. In the lead.
That's
in the lead.
248. That was
At the start, Team Choco was in last place, but TCA turned around with Team Choco in lead. Let's go.
That was just a casual
GG to
marathon.
GG. Let's go.
248.
Let's go.
That is huge, even for Dessa standards. 248, just like that in a marathon, huge.
Yeah, Dessa says that was a PB. Wow.
By what?
Incredible.
Wow, let's go.
Incredible.
Definitely. Oh, and Lena actually got how's it named? Tower. Lena actually got Tower. Which is also a rare game that has like a small chance to spawn right outside of Hashmal's boss room. Big props to Dessa. That he just pulled it off like that.
Outdid himself.
I mean, as we said it at the start, Dessa is in a league of its own what this game confronts. The only one who currently has the skills to challenge him would be the one who beat him, would be the current world record holder. That name I always keep forgetting.
Tachibana.
There we go.
To be fair, it's a pretty difficult name to say sometimes. So, unfortunately, Pinello for Luna ended up getting diseased, so this is gonna hurt.
Nah,
really hurt.
Did she have float mode?
No problem.
She had float mode, nothing damage, no damage at all.
I was thinking Ashmel was gonna target her, so. Ooh, Ash down to 1 HP. Oh, baby.
Everything bigger than 0 is good. The number 1 rule of healing.
You only need 1 HP to win.
Woadyb, please, because this is not looking good. Woadyb, you can survive this. Come on, I believe in you.
Hit Gabram. Just hit Gabram. Worst target.
Worth of relay left.
Oh wait, this is the first attack. This one usually doesn't deal that much damage. Yeah.
It can end up very badly though.
He also took the safe route and he used the bubble mode on Pinello, which I also started using if I have 1 extra. It's a really good strat. Like it's for extra safety, and you can never be safe enough for Vaynovas.
Never, yeah.
Instant invulnerable will. Ooh, not good. Not good.
Well, that happened with Jessa.
2, 3.
Yeah, he usually does it instantly.
Hey, I got a game to play.
But
Avoidable will is always...
the annoying part was Woadyb only just queued the elixir for Pinello. Pinello is out of MP, just queued the elixir. This could hurt. But, yeah, no, looks good. Looks fine. Now's the question.
Oh my god, please. Invulnerable will, Tree of Sephiroth skip. Yes, Tree of Sephiroth skip, let's go. Okay, Team Tonberry, be ready whenever.
Didn't even show up on the bar.
It should be less than a minute for Tonberry. I think he has a pretty good setup here. I'm confident in Woadyb.
Again, this fight usually is just, if you go in it decently, it's fine. It's just a question of actually getting the buffs down quick, and then it's just, basically from there, it's, yeah. It's just a question of how fast can you get the setup going, all the buffs up. Once the buffs are up, everything's fine. Seeing what he's doing there right now kind of frightens me, as he has...
Why is he starting with casting? Especially with katakana. With katana, not katakana. I'm not talking about the Japanese alphabet here.
He probably wanted to buff with Ash, but then forgot to. Or like got distracted. This is not a clean
He is using
setup.
a Baku spine on Ash. He has Berserker Bracers.
This was not a clean start. This could get close.
Well, especially if they get stuck like that, that's not good. That's not
then again,
good.
he's red. Even with the Ascension here, that will be fine.
Okay.
He's fine.
Team Tonberry, be ready any second now.
He already switching to staff. Oh, well. This could get close now.
Yeah, that's bad. Woody, what are you doing? Your berserk is running out.
Yeah, that's the reason why.
Time. Let's go. Team Tonberry, let's go.
It was a very, very scary moment. To maybe explain what was going on there, actually. So after he does Ascension, he has a magic invulnerability. He's immune to magic. After that, he will just cast one more buff and then go to a physical immunity, which Woadyb tried to counter by going attacking with magic. Due to him, though, using a Bacchus Wine on Ash, he couldn't just get rid of the buff anymore, so he would just wonk him with the staff. Luckily, he wasn't in invulnerability there anymore, and he still had enough time to kill him. That could have been really bad. That was a close call, but GG's to Woody. And at this point, I'd say, while Luna is making her way to the Bahamut on the last cutscene, do the Final Fantasy X commentators already want to introduce themselves? If they're even unmuted yet.
We are indeed unmuted. Hello everybody, we're the Final Fantasy X commentators, very briefly introducing ourselves before the FF12 excitement picks back up. My name is Chris Tenarian.
And I'm Crimson Inferno.
By all means, that you guys can have the floor for as long as you want it. This is Final Fantasy X for the first hour.
You have a minute or two before we actually have to pick up again.
Quick, Woadyb did PB by 24 seconds.
Wow, 2 PBs?
Applause.
That's also PB by 6 seconds RTA. Can Lena get a PB? That would be 3 PBs for the same game.
I don't think so.
Awesome.
I don't think so, because Lena's PB is only a few seconds behind Woadyb. She had an atrocious run. So some areas just really weren't kind to her.
And off to the Bahamut with Lena. Also on the final stretch of the game.
Oh god. And we have an age-old question. We have another age-old question in chat. How do you spell Tidus? Is it Tidus or Titus?
You pronounce it Titus. You spell it Tidus. Enough said.
Yes. It is actually canon if you were to watch World of Final Fantasy, which will be run Sunday morning. There his name is voiced, and it is indeed Titus, sadly. It is sadly that way canon.
Titus is already a real name, and that's spelled with a T, not a D. Thank you.
Alright, enough about that
really
topic.
Good, you could just say it's Tita. You can go with the Japanese name.
Alright, enough of that. Luna about to get into Gabronth 1. And actually there's one thing about Gabronth 2 that we haven't even touched on. We mentioned the cutscene that also gets longer in this fight if Barsh is in, but there is one thing that happens right after the cutscene that we didn't even touch upon. After the cutscene, he will do his Innocence attack, which is his cinematic attack, and after that he will cast Renew on himself, which is a white magic that will fully heal him. What we do, though, is right after the cutscene, we throw a Reflect Gamut at him, so instead of hitting us, instead of healing himself, it will reflect onto our party and heal us instead, which makes this fight so much better, because right after the heal he casts Enrage, which basically means he doesn't have charge times on attacks and he will just go whack, 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 and decimating our party. So him not having full HP after that is just huge.
Get out of some.
That looks like a decent start. There's the Innocence. There can be a little something that could happen here, that he now would go for Penelo and immediately kill her, but Lena has the reverse mode in protection of Penelo there to easily save the maneuver.
Okay, Lena doing the same strat that I do, taking both party members away and then taking them out again for Vayne. A very good idea, I think, because that does keep your Berserk for a little longer. And it runs out right around the start of Vayne Novus, which is really, really, really useful, because you do want Barsh to be able to cast stuff at the beginning of a Vein Novus. So in this case, you can deal a ton of damage in a very short amount of time.
Yeah,
and
having
be able to skip Force of Will if you're doing it well.
These attack ups here at the start of the fight can be huge, as the fight may go down from a minute to like 30 seconds if the buffs last long enough and rolls work out, etc, etc. This is personally also the strategy I use, since
Okay,
it just
come on, can
seems
you
better.
skip? Maybe? Nice, we got the Force of Will skip, let's go.
Very nice, very nice.
And now
That
for
looked
Novus.
clean. That looked clean.
We are missing a bubble mode though on Ash. I hope she's still using that on Ash. Yeah, would be good. Yeah, no bubble mode on Ash. Okay. Yeah, she's doing it. Okay, very good. We're safe. Okay, good start. Buffed everyone that is needed.
A little slow start because this cinematic attack is usually skippable. It skips it when you hit phase 2 soon enough. It's a little bit annoying to deal with as it's a quite lengthy attack and quite annoying one. Can hit Gabronth though. Will it hit Gabronth? It hits boss. Whatever.
It's not that bad.
It's
Tree of
not that
Zephyr is worse if it hits you.
Oh, definitely. Because especially around the time Tree of Sephiroth hits, your buffs are run out. So all your protection is gone, your double HP is gone, at this point it's just devastating. It can just be devastating.
And now for phase 2, where all the bad stuff can happen if it wants to.
Good few of the swords are down by now. Few are still flying around, but that shouldn't be a problem here. There they're gone.
Azor Wardis. And let's see how we fare after this attack. Shouldn't be too bad. But let's hope we can also skip Tree of Sephiroth for the 3rd time.
Is always so hyped. Especially the attack is not just powerful, but also takes like 40 seconds. 30 seconds?
Okay, please ADB reset, please ADB reset, and then Phoenix down like right away. There we go, yes! Very good, very good. Very good.
That was clean.
That was clean. Okay, T-Mog, be ready whenever. Because we're about to beat the final boss.
Just setting up the last couple buffs. See how quickly we can get all the buffs on. There's the domain, there's the Hastegar. Going for the Bacchus right away. All buffs on, healed full.
Hey.
Domain for Ash, yes. And with that is just hoping that the NPCs don't mess up.
My old man.
Pushing is always good, because pushing makes sure that the characters don't get stuck.
Barrier still not red. Ascension comes, there it's red.
Okay, in a couple of seconds for Team Mog.
Yes.
Not that far off.
Just again, the cutscene through, and then it just should just be a handful of hits.
What I got myself
and
into.
time.
And that's time for Team Mog. Let's go FF10! Shoutouts for Elena for finishing this run, and let's go to all the FF10 runners!
Definitely.
Let's go!
It was lovely. I hope we somehow got you to something in this run, and yeah, we're out. Have fun with Final Fantasy X and enjoy the amazing relay.
Have fun with the rest, everyone, and good luck to all the FF10 runners.
Alright, thank you very much to the FF12 runners and FF12 commentators for that awesome run.